Royals glove. Jensen scores and Thomas goes to third, and Michael Garcia does pick up the Royals, and they lead 2-1. Well hit center field. It's a deep center field. Kreidler is back, gone way up into the batter's eye.
A sinker that he sunk.
All right, a Monday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Jack Johnson hanging out with us the first couple of hours. Michael Darcy running the operation, making sure everything is good to go for the show today. Holding down the fort the last full week and Friday as well. Sterling holding down the fort last week until Friday. But we are back. Now back, ready to go. Everybody in their regular chairs. We feel good. We feel good on this Monday. Royals are winning. That feels good. Pivotal Game 3 tonight in the NBA Finals. Pivotal. Must win for San Antonio. It's not a must win, but it's a can't lose. Yeah. There is a difference between a must win and a can't lose. It's not specifically a must win because, you're not eliminated. But in the NBA, falling behind 3-0 has not resulted in a team coming back to win the NBA Finals, so it is you cannot lose this particular game, but it is pivotal. It is a very pivotal game tonight in New York, Game 3, where tickets are going for roughly get-in price about $5,000. So if you've got $5,000 laying around, you can get into Madison Square Garden and watch the game, if you're into that sort of thing. We'll talk a little NBA at some point today. We'll talk some Royals today. We will talk about the Kansas City Chiefs with mandatory minicamp getting underway tomorrow. A visitor that was in town last week. We'll talk about that. What to do with a draft pick from 2025. That role may drastically change in 2026. We'll talk about some of those things. Brendan Sorsby news is out there. And if you wrote the script for how you expected it to go, these are the exact steps along the way that would be incredibly predictable. It is so dog bites man so far in this story that the reaction this morning about, oh my God, I can't believe, people are shocked. Zero part of me is shocked. It's my shock. It's the GIF, the meme. This is my shocked face and just staring straight into the camera. Because that's how I feel about the Brendan Sorsby story that's going on right now. We'll talk with Joel Penfield coming up at noon, One Royal Way podcast. Mick Schaefer, 1 o'clock, KSHB 41 sports director. Learn funniest best before the show is over as well. Royals off tonight before a 6-game homestand after the 10-game 3-city road trip in which they found a way to make it successful after getting swept the first 3 games. Some rough games, some blown games, winning against Cincinnati, blowing Game 2 against Cincinnati, and then finding a way to win that series and finding a way to take 3 of 4 from the Twins, including a comeback game, including a game where you held on. The story, I know that it's still a Royals team that is very much out of the playoffs by a decent margin. 9.5 games out of first in the Central, 5.5 games out of the wild card with 7 teams in front of them to be able to get to the wild card. So it isn't exactly like they've won 15 in a row and they've put themselves in contention that they're 1 or 2 big series away from being in first. It's not the case, but there is like a glimmer. There's like a tease, a little bit of what the Royals. There's a gleam. There's a gleam, men. How about those red pants? How about the boys in blue? But the last 2 days change the script a little bit for the excitement about this homestand if you don't come back on Saturday and if you find a way to blow your 3rd game of the road trip, each in one series, yesterday after having a 6-1 lead, it would have been disastrous and it would have been, you know what, it's time to just go ahead and look at selling right now. Let's try to sell right now. It's done. It's toast. And the Royals players are the only ones that can control what J.J. Piccolo and the front office do. Because if the losing continues, there would be no choice. You're trading. If the Royals can somehow find a way over the next 6 weeks to go and play .600 baseball, they'd probably put themselves within 3 or 4 games of first place. In the Central, they'd probably put themselves within 2 or 3 games of the wild card. And I believe that would change the mindset of the front office with Waka under team control for a couple of years, Lugo under team control for a couple of years, Noah Cameron turning things around, and maybe the pitch shape now has more control of where it's going and getting more strikeouts. We'll talk about those things. That it is up to the Royals players if they can play like this a little bit more often and play .600 baseball, win some series, and change the approach of the front office in the next 6 weeks. Some small little injuries starting to mount up with Bobby Witt's knee, Jack Caglione's shoulder, Salvi's thumb, Michael Garcia's hamstring, that every time, like right now with Michael, I don't want him running hard.
Yeah, and that's the one time.
Now's the one time that if he hits a ground ball in the infield, jog. Jog, do what you got to do. I don't care. Earlier in the season, I'd like to see you run that thing out. Now, be smart about it. Don't push it. And I thought, I'll be honest with you, I thought he was going to be out for like a month. When I saw him hopping to third,
yes,
my thought was, well, that's a 6-week hamstring injury. That's like a grade 2 or 3 hamstring. And we're going to hear from Michael after the All-Star break. And it's just the latest punch in the gut of this Royals season and might be the final blow. Might be like they're on the ropes. The referee's about to call it. They're fighting back a little bit. Rounding second, hopping to third is the right hand where the referee comes in and waves it off and the fight is over. It's done. Go to your separate corners. This guy has won. We need to stop the fight.
I'm glad they didn't throw in the damn towel.
Right. Well,
I'm just picturing, was that Carl Weathers?
Rocky should have thrown the damn towel.
Was that Carl Weathers?
Throw the damn towel. Yeah. Throw the damn towel.
Yeah.
Throw the damn towel. Yeah, that was rough. And then Rocky ended up stopping the Cold War and allowing the U.S. to win. Because
it's accurate.
It was about Russia versus the United States. The Russians are cheaters and use steroids and all of the and the United States are pull yourself up by your bootstraps, train with logs and in a barn, and just be a more passionate, more of a dedicated, more of having a bigger soul and a fighting spirit to be the little engine that could. Rocky. That's what it was all about, and maybe that's the Royals right now. What I'm saying is the rest of the American League is Russia.
Well, in the Russian version, though, they actually cut out. In the Russian version, they actually throw the towel, and then the movie ends. The movie ends after that. It's crazy.
If he dies, he dies. You will lose.
That's actually where it ends. If he dies, he dies. The movie ends, and and then the Russians assume. Yeah, that's why
it's like The Sopranos.
Yeah.
We don't know what actually happened. Did Carl Weathers pass away? But then there's a Rocky 5, and then Tommy Gunn. You knocked him down. Why don't you try knocking me down now? It's my Rocky
Is that
impression.
your Rocky impression? Yeah. I couldn't tell. It was like a Russian Rocky.
Holy in the ring. Tommy Gunn only fights in the ring. My ring's outside. Let's do it. R.I.P. 913-912-4810 is the text line to join us. Let's start with this because in a couple of hours, less than a couple of hours, KU is going to get their Game 2 back underway at noon. It is about as big of a hill to climb for KU to make the College World Series. Down 8-1 in the bottom of the third. An if necessary game coming up at 4 o'clock if they find a way to come back and win. You know, we kind of gave the example there of and the comparison a little bit to the boxing match with the Royals and Michael Garcia hopping to third. It's a little bit like that with KU because they were against the ropes and they were getting pummeled and then the bell rang. And now they can take a breath and go back to their separate corners, get through the night, wake up and go, we know it's an uphill battle, but you know what you got to do going in. Every pitch, every at-bat, every inning, every part of the game, you've got to be ready to go and completely focused. And Oklahoma, to a degree, might come into the game today and go, we just take care of business and we're good. We're going to go to Omaha. I don't know what today's going to bring. It's like I said, it's an incredibly tough uphill battle, being down 8-1 and Oklahoma still batting in the bottom of the third when it gets underway at noon. But I do wonder about the mindset of these two teams when the rain postpones the game and you can go to your respective corners and adjust and take a deep breath. And if KU shows up with the no matter what, whatever it takes, every single pitch, and if Oklahoma shows up with the, no, we're good, we're up 8-1. We're up 8-1. Let's just go through and get this thing done and go do our dog pile out there in Lawrence and then head to Omaha for the College World Series. Or Oklahoma shows up and says, let's put the hammer down immediately and in the spirit of KU, put a couple of more runs on the board in the bottom of the third, go up 10-1, and feel like the ball game is over. I think if KU gets out of the bottom of the third and comes back and scores a couple of runs in the fourth, then things might be different the rest of the way. But last night, falling behind 8-1, the best thing that could have happened to me for KU was that thing got postponed to today.
Agreed.
Jack, any chance you give him today? I mean, I guess there's a chance, but
yeah, it's something in college baseball where you can never really feel safe with a 7-run lead. Like in college baseball, because college pitchers are so volatile, you can have somebody go out there and like KU did in the second inning, give up a 7 spot, and all of a sudden things are interesting. But to me, what the big issue is for Kansas is that they basically burned their 3 best arms, right? They used Mason Cook yesterday. I guess you can call him the second best arm behind Dominic Bagley, who started game 1. Then you used Ryan Ritter. He really didn't have it. And then Bodie Ray was in there for one batter, gave up the home run to Taki before the rain came. In college baseball, I'm sure they could send Bodie Ray back out there. I expect them to. He started this year.
Yeah.
He threw 5 pitches, so I'm sure he's going to go back out there. But to me, even if the offense does turn things on, well, at this point, who are you going to turn to if things get close? I mean, Toby Scheidt is available. Manning West, I believe, is available because he threw in game 1. You could go back to him. You have Carr as well. But the way Oklahoma's offense has been, you're going to need to probably have an 8-run inning yourself, and you're probably going to need to score anywhere from 13 to 14 runs to win this one.
If KU gets to 8, odds are Oklahoma won't still be there.
I totally agree.
If they get to 8. But the positive would be that Oklahoma's not going to come back with their starter today. That was pitching there the first 3 innings. And so the bullpen's given up a lot of runs for Oklahoma this year. So you do have the bullpen for OU the rest of the way in the game. So that is at least a positive in creating more of an opportunity to go and score some of those runs against the part of the team that has been struggling at points this year. And the guy who was dealing yesterday is not going to come back out today after throwing the first 3 innings as a starter and then sitting all night and then putting him right back out there. Although it's college baseball, so maybe they'll be like, bleep it, I don't care about this guy's professional career. We're trying to get to, and he may go, bleep it, I don't care about what's next. We're trying to get to Omaha. Throw me back out there, Skip. I'm ready to go. I'm fresh. I only threw that many pitches through 3 innings. I'm good to go. Let's roll.
Bumgarner this thing.
Let's do it. Madison Bumgarner this. Why would you say his name? We're having a fun show today. Why would you say his name?
I didn't say his first name. I was talking about Brian.
Oh, that
From
makes
The
sense.
Office, yeah.
Kevin
Malone.
Yeah, it's like that's right. Dodgers fan.
Yeah,
is what he is. So we'll see. That comes up at noon. So the best thing for KU was that thing. The bell sounded, and you can get ready for the next round. Go home, reassess, take a deep breath. Know you're still fighting today. You didn't wake up this morning with your season being over. You woke up this morning with a fighting chance to be able to go to Omaha.
I feel bad, Jack, because I may have jinxed it.
I don't feel bad. I was going to say, you feel bad about maybe jinxing.
I feel horrible. I trouble sleeping.
You kidding me?
Because Jack and I, we had a nice long conversation. Because my largesse, I'm such a nice guy. We had a whole segment on KU baseball whilst you were in Disney, and
I wasn't in. I was at Disney. I wasn't in Disney.
Well, you're in Disney, like you're in there.
Yeah, that's.
Am I wrong?
It's one way of putting it. Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I'm just joking.
Marked.
How's that marked?
I'm just joking. Go ahead.
I'm not saying Walt. I'm saying you're in Disney.
Whoa.
I'm not saying like come on now. I'm saying you're in Disney. That's a place.
Keep digging, pal.
I didn't mean to take us off the road, but go ahead.
So the point I'm making here was we
There
had
was a train there that we rode, so let's put the train back on the tracks here. Here we go.
it's the people on the
Yes.
train. You decide which way to go.
Yeah. Now, I was in that train.
You were in the train, okay. So we talked about KU for a long time, and we said it was probably going 3 games. But having the ones in Lawrence and then having this is a little disheartening. We had the conversation. I do feel slightly bad because I did want to root for Jack and for Michael because I know this is big for them. I'd want them to do the same for Missouri. But how disheartening is it, I guess, after seeing this transpire, all the goodwill, the day off, not playing on Friday, having to wait till Saturday. We said it can be a positive or a negative. Positive is in your pitchers are going to be a little more well-rested, but the negative is in that momentum that was rolling like a train, it gets a little derailed.
But anytime you're in the Super Regionals, both teams feel like their season and they are coming in with tons of momentum.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma's going, we just went into Atlanta.
Yeah.
We had our backs against the wall and won Game 1 and Game 2 against Georgia Tech. Yep. And so they probably weren't that fearful of Kansas going in. Kansas was riding the high of sweeping Arkansas, beating Northeastern. Where I'm at with it is that, and it's kind of the same way I felt with the Royals back in 14. Now, they went much further when it was all said and done. But after they won the wild card game, I kind of took this approach of everything else after this is kind of icing because we witnessed such an incredible run. They had enjoyable baseball for 5 to 6 months. Hey, if they get swept by the Angels, they get swept. And really, in hosting Oklahoma, it's a bit different because they're at home. But we also can acknowledge that even if Kansas got past Oklahoma, the odds of them winning the College World Series were going to be low. Now, I still want them to get there, but it doesn't take away everything they accomplished. It's also a very positive thing that it's a really young team. It's a team full of JUCOs. It's not like you had this team that was built up for 4 years. This was the group that was going to do it, and then you get steamrolled by Oklahoma right before Omaha. There's a good chance they're right back in this thing next year. Now, you can never guarantee that, but I think if this showed anything, these 2 games against Oklahoma, the focus for Dan Fitzgerald and this team next year is you got to get some power arms because the Oklahoma started 2 freshmen in this series.
Yeah.
Both of them didn't have great ERAs. Nobody really has a great ERA as a college pitcher, but they're throwing 99 from the left side and 98 from the right side with a power change, a really good slider. Kansas has Dominic Vagley, who kind of has that, and then after that, as good as Mason Cook has been, it's not a pitcher that's going to go out there and he's going to give you 8 shutout, and he's going to strike out 13 guys. You'll get it every once in a while, but that really needs to be the focus, and I'm curious if they'd go the JUCO route for that, or they'd go for Division I transfers or high school guys. But they got the offense. The guys can hit. The guys they've been able to identify, they're good players. Pitching is where you go from a 45-win team to a 50-plus win team and can be a team that's hoisting the trophy in Omaha when it's all said and done.
No, there's a level of jealousy here. I know the Batcats have had their success, and Missouri, it's been a long time. And that, regional when they lost to Louisville, what's 15 years ago, like Max Scherzer type run when Missouri was good. And I'm just waiting for, I just want the Giants to keep struggling so that TV will be fired in San Francisco and then he can return to Mizzou.
No, Missouri will do it. They'll mess it up again because
they'll hire the bench coach from the Giants instead of Tony Vitello.
Correct.
Bruce Bochy.
Yes,
he's going to go back down
get
to
a
college.
different Giants ex-man. The Tigers are hiring the San Francisco Giants ex-manager. Finally, they get TV. Bruce Bochy, son of a gun!
Missouri is the type. Here's a fantasy football perspective. This is Missouri. They draft B. Robinson Jr. from Atlanta, but it's Brian, not Bijan.
That's right. That's what they did when they passed on TV when he was at Arkansas. When Max Scherzer pledged all these millions of dollars to the program if you hired him. Nah, he's not ready. He's not ready.
Not ready for the big time.
To go win a College World Series, win a championship there at Tennessee. Not ready at all. We'll see. But yeah, there's some jealousy there of watching it and remembering a long time ago when it was the 2 different colored eyes, Max Scherzer there pitching. So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back on the other side of the break. I do want to talk a little Royals as the road trip turned out to be a success. Go 500 on the road, have a winning record at home, and you're probably in the playoffs. Unless it's just a winning record by, 1 or 2 games, then probably not. But play 600 ball at home, go 500 on the road, and you feel good about being a team that can make the playoffs. Finding a way to finish this road trip 500 was good. There's a couple of things that came from that. Have the Royals found their new closer? We'll talk about those things. Noah Cameron, has he turned it around? And Vinny Pasquantino, man, if he could have started the season the way that he's playing the last 30, 40, 50 games, might be a different story that we're talking about.
I'll say 30. 30 to 40.
Well, I think, and we'll talk about this on the other side, as the games have gone on, he's gotten progressively hotter and hotter and hotter. So we'll talk about that as well. The Kansas City Chiefs, as we said, the mandatory minicamp. England fans are complaining. It's a tradition like no other. England fans complaining about the World Cup host country being dangerous. It's all they do. No matter where the World Cup is, English fans are going to bitch about, there's no reason for that country to ever have the World Cup. They said in 2010 and 14 and 18 and 22, and now complaining about 26 because The Athletic had a headline about the shooting that took place near the training for England, which then meant all the English fans were saying, well, this is clearly related. I mean, now they're not going to be able to go anywhere. I mean, it's so dangerous. All around they're shooting. Was anybody for the English players? Were they shot? What's going on?
And it's too hot for them.
Oh, my God.
It's not even hot. It's not even mid. It's like 83.
How many times do they have to come over to this country and lose before you realize that maybe do something else?
Hey, it was too hot for them in 1776, too, baby.
Yeah, baby. The heat was really on them at that point. All right, we'll take a timeout. More Zone next.
It's also too hot for England. I don't see them in the NBA Finals. Yeah, baby. Take that, England. Too hot for you. Because right now, new FanDuel customers can hit the court with $350 in bonus bets guaranteed after betting $5 for 7 straight days. FanDuel is the best place to bet on all your favorite players in the NBA Finals. Play your game any way you want. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. The choice is up to you. And best of all, with FanDuel, you get paid instantly when you win. No waiting around. It is right there for you. All you need to do is head to FanDuel.com/local to get $350 in bonus bets guaranteed after betting $5 for 7 straight days. Game tonight, 7:30. Spurs collapsed Game 2. Do they bounce back? They better. But am I rolling with them? Yeah, I will. I'll be dumb. I feel like New York has to lose a game at some point, and maybe the moment's too big. It won't be too big for Brunson, but will it be too big for the other guys? Give me the Spurs on the road to claim one game. Follow me or fade me. The choice is up to you. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA.
21 plus and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. Minimum $5 wager required for 7 consecutive days. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, hanging out on a Monday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. World Cup getting underway a few days from now. First game out of the gates, Mexico and South Africa. That is at 2 o'clock on the 11th. And then the 12th, USA and Paraguay. They just may. What do you say, huh? Go down by the bay, play with some hay? By the way, total aside.
By the way, it was pretty good as a nice little
Thanks,
intro.
I appreciate it. Did you guys see I saw this yesterday on the timeline, or maybe it was Saturday. I don't know. The days run together when you're off for a week. The Paraguay send-off for the Paraguay national team. Did you guys see this?
I did not.
At their stadium? Just go look up the video real quick. I think they got every firework in Paraguay and shot it off from the top of the stadium. So, like, anytime you see, like, a football team score a touchdown or something, you've got, like, the fireworks to go up from the top. Or, like, Arrowhead when it's, the bombs in the air, the fireworks and stuff go off. It's the craziest fireworks show I've ever seen at a stadium, and it will be more than what you think it will be.
Wow. That was the elite 10 seconds. It lasted about 10 seconds.
Go ahead and mark that, buddy. For yourself there, guy. But yeah, it's crazier than I could even describe. Just go look that up. If people have not seen that yet, just all you got to look up is Paraguay send-off. Or fireworks or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazier than you think, right? Even as I'm describing it, you're like, okay, that's nuts. But yeah, let's get it rolling.
And even as you say it's crazier than you think, I still
didn't imagine it to be that.
I love this. The SEC has 24 hours to respond.
That might be the funniest, is maybe the responses to that, the American responses to Paraguay. And the responses to the English fans that say that these stadiums in America have no aesthetic. And then,
wow.
And then people are showing like the random like old soccer stadiums in the middle of like houses, and then showing like the stadiums that the soccer teams are playing in the World Cup. Anyway, enough of that about that. We'll talk a little bit more about the English fans being crybabies later on in the show. Simple question: have the Royals found their closer?
For now.
His first save since May 1st of 2024, Alex Lang. He was the primary closer for the Tigers in 2023. A.J. Hinch is a guy that never sort of names a closer.
Sure.
Until this year when they went and got Kenley Jansen, and now he's on the IL. So that's what you get for going and get a specific closer.
He was bad, and then he
yes, and then he's
injured.
And then he's injured because you had Lang in 2023, you had Foley in 2024, you had Will Vest in 2025, and then they went and got Kenley Jansen to say we've got a closer now, who's now on the IL. But Alex Lang was good in 2023. And then entered the season in 2024 with the A.J. Hinch, we don't have a closer. And it turned out to be Jason Foley that year. And then Alex Lang tears his shoulder and is out for the year, misses most of last year recovering from that shoulder injury, that latissimus dorsi tendon that was there with the muscle that tore. And that's a pretty extensive recovery. It ain't Tommy John, but it ain't easy either to come back from that. And so this is the first time that he's fully healthy. So the first opportunity he's had to close since the save that he got on May 1st of 2024. And I just wonder if, like, okay, he dates back to the last time he was fully healthy, which was 2023. Because 2024, he seemed fine. He just wasn't put into opportunities to close. And A.J. Hinch went with Jason Foley until the postseason when Jason Foley pitched the first game of the wild card in a save situation, gave up 3 base runners, and has never pitched again. Wow. I didn't realize that until looking at it the other day. That Jason Foley in 2024 was the primary closer for the Tigers. Game 1 of the wild card, came in the 9th to protect a lead, gave up 3 base runners, got pulled, and that was the last game he appeared in in Major League Baseball
And
in
he was
2024.
good. What?
Yes.
What?
Very good.
He got sent down in 2025. He did not make the team out of spring training in 2025 as the primary closer the year before, and then got injured down in AAA and hasn't pitched since.
Yeah, I see him right now. Giants 60-day IL.
Yeah, he's been ILing it since the beginning of last year. But the last time he appeared in the game was the Game 1 wild card in 2024.
Brutal.
But that's sort of what A.J. Hinch has done, is rotating through different closers. They haven't had this is our specific closer, and then they went and got Kenley Jansen. And I wonder, what would Alex Lang be? And maybe he would have failed. Maybe A.J. Hinch has the right idea that bullpens are such a year-to-year thing that maybe you ride the hot hand that year and say, this is our guy this year. All right, he doesn't have it this next year. We're going with somebody else. This guy has it this year. And so maybe that's the right way of going about it, unless you have a specific closer, a Duran, Chapman, guys like that. But I do wonder if, riding the hot hand, okay, it was not Estevez this year, but it was Urseg, because he was, 5 for 5 when he filled in for Estevez right out of the gates?
Yeah.
And then he's not.
And then he got a walk-in song.
Yes. And Q has stayed with Urseg over and over and over while he has been essentially a 50-50 proposition to close the game. He hasn't been riding the hot hand. Well, I wonder, is Q sort of changing his way of going about it now, that right now Alex Lang is the hot hand in the ninth? So you stay with him, and if he starts getting hit around, maybe you go to Lynch for a little bit. Maybe you go back to Urseg if he figures it out. Maybe Estevez is back. Instead of Urseg's our closer, he's in the ninth. This is what we do. I don't care how he's been pitching. I don't care what the underlying numbers say. Ninth inning, this is the guy. This is who we go with. And we've seen other managers that have said, no, Lang is the hot hand. Foley's the hot hand. Will Vest is the hot hand. Will Vest has been terrible this year.
Yeah.
But he was the primary closer last year, and he was good, but terrible this year. Imagine the Tigers, how bad they would be. I'm joking, because they're rough. If he'd have said, Will Vest is our primary closer no matter what, and he's been terrible this year.
You go with the hot hand because this team doesn't have, again, that guy. They don't have
Estevez of a year ago.
Oh, they don't have him. And I get Urseg getting first crack. Made the most sense. I think we all agree that's not a cue. We all would have agreed Urseg deserved to get the first chance because he had done it before. He had looked really good, and we still picture him of 24 when he was dominant. Last year, obviously the ERA was really, really good, but the underlying metrics were not. We probably saw some regression coming, but it came drastic. Alex Lang was a guy I actually was pretty on an island for a while. 90% of Royals fans wanted him gone. And I said, keep him.
I did. I was one that said it's about time you DFA Alex Lang and just move on.
And I think at one point I eventually got to there.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, I was the guy that said, you know what? I understand keeping him as a low leverage, long relief guy, or at least in a, you're getting blown out, throw him for an inning or two, because you know why? His strikeout numbers were good. His whiff percentage was really good. At one point, he was the only reliever outside of Lynch who was getting any strikeouts, any swing and miss. So I go, okay, let's see if you can try just a little bit. See if he can try and figure something out. The issue with Lang, which he's always had, dating back to his great 2023, he walks the world.
Yeah.
He's never not going to walk you. Or he's never going to be a guy who doesn't walk dudes.
Never not working.
He's going to walk guys. So if you're nervous about that, get ready, buckle up, be nervous, because he's going to walk some guys in the ninth inning. But he gets a great amount of swing and miss. His whiff percentage is 88th percentile. And right now, you go with the hot hand because there's not an obvious answer. We all think Daniel Lynch should get that chance, but clearly the Royals do not. Clearly the Royals think of him as a 7th, 8th emergency type of guy. And if that's the case, Urseg's not that dude. Sorry, even was it last night?
Now.
Even last night, he tried blowing it. He tried.
It was a little blooper. It was one that came.
I don't care. You know why? Because he doesn't strike guys out. I'm tired of the weak contact. Every time he comes in, everyone always goes, well, he gave a lot of weak contact and balls found grass. Well, you know what? You know how you don't find grass? Get a swing and miss.
Yeah.
What did Lang do?
He got swings and misses.
Swings and misses.
Also, Urseg, don't reach out for the ball anymore. Just stay away from the baseball. It's never. I don't know that it's ever worked out for him, but I know it's an instinct. But the instincts should change.
But
with Urseg and trying to field the baseball right back to him.
To completely answer the question, I don't think Lang is the long-term answer. Maybe not even the long-term answer this year. But right now, you stick with him until he proves otherwise. Right now, in my opinion, he's earned the responsibility of closing the ninth inning, and he's come through for you in the ninth. The moment does not look too big, but yet again, I think you do have to have a semi-short leash because he will be a guy that walks a lot of guys.
You know, I really think that the Royals, as good as Lang has looked in some of these closing opportunities, and they haven't been perfect. I mean, we've been pretty pleased with the strikeouts he's gotten, but he's also been dancing around a lot of damage, right? He's been playing with fire, and you don't want to see that from your closer. Unfortunately for the Royals, the closer before that, Lucas Ursig, wasn't putting out any of the fires. He wasn't getting any outs. And you know, I'm going to believe what Matt Quatrero said when Lucas Ursig blew that game in Cincinnati, which was, we're going to go matchup base for right now. So Alex Lang might get the lion's share of save opportunities, but I'm not going to rule it out that Daniel Lynch might get one. Not going to rule it out that Lucas Ursig might be out there again. To me, this is the way you have to go about it until it really becomes a serious conversation you have to have of who your closer is going to be. I've always said this before, and I'll say it again. It really doesn't matter who your closer is when you're 12 games under 500. The Royals are playing better baseball, but when you're worrying about, well, who's going to get the ninth inning? You're 9.5 games out of first, you're 5.5 games out of the wild card. You still want to win those games, but if the Royals are in, 90% one-run games, that's just not a good recipe there. So Alex Lang, if you've got 2 righties coming up, 3 righties coming up, go to him. He's the guy that's got closing experience. He would still be available in the bullpen, whereas Daniel Lynch, he is your left-hand reliever. You probably want to turn to him in the 6th inning or the 7th inning, sometimes the 8th inning. That's why it was a little bit trickier when people said, well, why not just push Daniel Lynch to the 9th inning? It's because you still had to bridge the gap. And if you use your left-handed reliever in the 9th inning, what if there's a 7th inning or an 8th inning where 3 lefties are coming up? Who do you want to turn?
Strom being back helps.
And Strom does. He's still not there yet.
Yeah.
Should help.
Should.
Yeah.
But when he was on the IL, he clearly didn't help.
Correct.
There wasn't much of a choice.
It gives you more flexibility there. But I really see this being closer by committee, which is something the Royals did for a long time in 2024. James MacArthur was the guy. Will Smith was the guy. Then Lucas Ursig was the guy. Last year they had Carlos Estevez. They don't have him right now. And though Alex Lang has been good, there's also that chance that he goes out there in a 3-run game and gives up 5.
For sure.
He looks good right now. You take that for what it is. Give him the next opportunity if it works out. But I'm not sure we're to that point where you say, don't even worry about it anymore. It's Alex Lang, and it's Alex Lang moving forward.
I think where the frustration lies, as the team does sit 12 games under, Eric's blown 6 saves. Estevez blew the one where we felt like we all knew he shouldn't have been in that game. That's 7. Say you close out 6 out of the 70.
I would say 4. Even 4 puts you,
a couple
like
games under,
like a game out of the wild card.
Correct, and that's kind of where my frustration lies. I feel like we all saw the Estevez thing gonna happen with what we saw coming out of spring training.
Yeah,
and then we saw Eric's his last probably 3 saves, at least 2, but maybe 3 where we go, what are you doing? You cannot turn to him.
Yeah.
And he kept getting turned to. And now we look at this team. Again, I know they're 12 games under 500, but that's a loss that would have been a win if you can get 3 outs, let alone maybe get a out against the Rangers would have been nice. But the point still remains, you're 12 games out, but you close 6 of the 7, you're 500.
Yeah. Yeah, they went 1-3 in chances to blow games, although, they did have other saves, so I can't say 1-3.
Sure.
Because they had some saves. It's just the 1-2, I should say, because you remember the Rangers and the Reds, and then taking care of business on Saturday. But even yesterday too, 6-1. You put in Beckway. I didn't disagree with that. Hopefully he looked good the other day. Hopefully he can get 3 outs before giving up 5 runs. He tried to prove that maybe it's not as easy. And then Irsay came in and at least closed the door. And a month ago, that ball is gone in left field. Yeah. Like honestly, a month ago, the way this season was rolling, that ball is 10 feet further, and it's over the wall, and the Royals are walking off with their head down and saying, how did we blow that game up 6-1 in the 9th, and now we split the series instead of taking 3 of 4. What a disappointing way to end that. And you could say, well, you took 2 of 3 from the Reds and you split 4 with the Twins. It's kind of what you want to do. But they didn't have to rationalize and talk themselves into being and feeling positive about it because they closed the door. But as soon as he connected with that ball in left field, I'm like, oh, there you go. That's game. Game over. One way or another, game's over. The game is over. Whether the Royals win or the Twins win, the game is over. But Collins got there, made the catch, and they got out of it. We'll take a timeout, come back. I want to talk a little bit about Noah Cameron, Vinny Pasquantino, and then in the 11 o'clock hour, we'll get into the news around Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech, what has taken place this morning, judgment coming down in Lubbock County Court. Shocker. We'll talk about those things and the Chiefs' mandatory minicamp tomorrow. We'll get into that as well. And many, many other things along the way today. More Zone coming up next. All right, folks, Jason Anderson here telling you about Kalshi. The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived. And you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. And on Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. It's the largest prediction market is Kalshi, the first federally regulated financial exchange dedicated to trading on the outcome of future events, regulated in the U.S. and available in all 50 states. It's not a market that's based in a different country. It's right here in the U.S., which is where the World Cup is. And we are 3 days away from the World Cup getting underway. We're 8 days away from Kansas City hosting their first ever World Cup match, and that being Argentina getting things underway 8 days from now. Argentina, heavy favorites in that particular match. Maybe you want to play the June 20th Ecuador-Curacao game. Also heavy favorites with Ecuador. Maybe you feel like Curacao can pull off the upset. Well, if you feel like that's the case, you can play Curacao. They're trading at 7% right now, which means $100 is going to get you over $1,300 if Curacao were to find a way to win that particular game. NBA Game 3 tonight. Pivotal Game 3 tonight. You can trade with the NBA. Royals off tonight, but any market you want to find out there, it is available. And on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market. There's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app. Use code JASON810, JASON810 to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Kalshi, trade the beautiful game.
18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
You know, the concern around Noah Cameron has certainly flipped with his 5 starts, averaging 6 innings per start, 4 quality starts in those 5. And the most impressive thing is the 30 innings that he's pitched, 31 strikeouts and 3 walks.
You know why?
Is unbelievable. Why is that?
The negative reinforcement.
That's what it was?
You kept saying he does not give you any quality starts anymore. He does not
Yeah.
go deep into games. And what happened? Since you said that,
Right. That's
quality
true.
start central.
You're welcome, Noah. And the rest of the Royals front office.
From Noah quality starts to a lot of them.
That's exactly right.
He can do it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it. I should hate it, but I don't. But you know what I hate, though, about those quality starts? The Royals are 1-4 in Noah Cameron's last 5 starts with a 1.8 ERA and a 1.7 FIP, because also, you know, he's getting the strikeout, so that certainly helps. And a .6666, repeating, of course, whip along the way in those last 5 starts. But the Royals still just 1-4 in those 5 starts. I'm going to guess that the way the Royals are hitting now, that if he continues this stretch of quality starts, that they'll find a way to win more of these games. But you can't really count on anything when it's been such a rough season so far for the Royals. But it's good to see Noah Cameron turn it around, because to me, the last 5 starts, Jack, give me a little bit more confidence that last year wasn't a fluke, that Noah Cameron came out of nowhere, wasn't a highly touted prospect, good pitcher, can fill in maybe your 5th or 6th guy in the rotation. Then it was like, whoa, maybe he can be a number 3. Got hit around and maybe brought back to earth a little bit, but now he's been really good and looks even better these last 5 starts than he did through the last, 15 of a year ago.
Yeah, you got to give credit to the Royals here and to Noah Cameron, where when he was struggling, there wasn't this immediate panic of, oh, you got to put him down to AAA.
Yeah.
He's not looking good. It's because the season's so long. I mean, Alex Lang, DFA the guy, now he's your closer, or I guess going to get the bulk of the closing opportunities. Good for him. His stuff looks great. He's throwing a bunch of strikes, working ahead, staying ahead, and just being so efficient. And unfortunately, 3 or 4 of those starts, his offense let him down or the bullpen's let him down, but this kind of looks like the guy he could be moving forward a little bit. Maybe not for the rest of the season, but for right now, the Royals absolutely need to capitalize on every single outing he's out there.
Yeah. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. I want to talk about what the latest is in college football. Brendan Sorsby, what a judge has ruled, the script that is playing out. If you were to write that a month ago, it's exactly happening according to that script. against the NCAA this is where the most surprising part comes in. He was granted this temporary injunction in Lubbock County Court. It's really surprising that they would rule in favor of Brendan Sorsby in Lubbock County Court. The court ruling allows him to play the 2026 college football season. He will be suspended the first 2 games of the 2026 season, which is what Brendan Sorsby's lawyers presented to the NCAA in their appeal for eligibility in serving a 2-game suspension and then being reinstated for game number 3. That is what the injunction has ruled there in the Lubbock County Court. Quote, the court finds that the applicant has demonstrated that he will suffer a probable, imminent, and irreparable injury if this court does not issue this temporary injunction because he will be unable to participate as a member of Texas Tech University's 2026 football team. The NCAA cannot prevent Sorsby from practicing, playing, or otherwise participating on Texas Tech's football team for the 2026 season, is what the injunction states. The NCAA put out a statement this morning. The NCAA strongly disagrees with the court's ruling in Sorsby's case and is deeply concerned about the damaging, far-reaching, and broadly destabilizing ramifications of this outcome, which undermines and corrupts the integrity of sports. The NCAA is committed to supporting student-athlete mental health, but must continue to aggressively defend against actions that defraud college athletics and threaten competitive integrity, such as betting on one's own sport. The NCAA rejected his appeal for reinstatement that he filed with the NCAA. Again, they recommended the 2-game suspension, and their reasoning was that if the NCAA pursues the max penalty, that future athletes will be disincentivized from seeking the help they desperately need. Those were the specific words they used. Quote, future athletes will be disincentivized from seeking the help they desperately need. And the reason that is such a bogus argument for Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech is because Brendan Sorsby did not come forward and say, I have a problem, Texas Tech. I need to go and get this under control. This gambling, it has led me down a road. I am addicted to it, and I feel like it is now jeopardizing the integrity of my eligibility, and I got to get this thing fixed. And I'm coming, part of my addiction and rehab is admitting mistakes and coming clean, and I must, as part of my rehab, as part of being clean, is telling the NCAA, this is what I've done, and I am seeking help for it. There would be an actual argument there if he did that. He went to rehab after he got caught doing this. So maybe he did have a problem. Maybe he was addicted. But he wasn't, the NCAA is not disincentivizing athletes from seeking help they desperately need by deeming him ineligible, because he didn't seek the help until he was caught doing the thing that the NCAA specifically states and prohibits, that you will permanently lose your eligibility if you do things. It's like Rashee Rice. You can't smoke weed. You did. So you got to go to jail. NCAA athletes, you can't bet on your own sport. You can't bet on other sports, but you can't bet on your own sport, especially your own games, or you will be permanently ineligible. It states it right there. The argument about, well, this now proves, and the injunction, that the NCAA did not care about the mental health and their student athletes, quote unquote, student athletes seeking help that they need. So this is going to permanently, imminent and irreparable injury to Brendan Sorsby if he's not allowed to play the football season this year.
Oh my gosh, the consequences of my own actions. Like, this is just the most absurd thing. We thought the Bediako thing was dumb, right? We all thought that was dumb. This is on another level. I get the NCAA had too much power for too long, But now there's none. If he's allowed to play, what's the point? Then there really are no rules. Like, there's one rule. This is it. This is basically the one big no-no. You can't do it. And it makes sense why you can't do it. It makes all the sense in the world why you can't do it. And yet, he knowingly and willingly risk it to do it. Does he maybe have an issue or a problem? Could be.
Sounds like he does. He's bet $90,000 over the last few years in gambling. Maybe he does have a problem, or maybe he's got a lot of money that he can gamble. Maybe he's won a lot of it. I don't know.
And does not mean, if you have a problem, that means, oh, you know what, he's got a problem. Doesn't matter. He can do whatever he wants now. There's no repercussions. He can literally do whatever he wants. He can break the laws because, guys, here's the problem. It's not his fault. Not his fault. We have to now allow him to do whatever he wants. Whatever he wants, he's now allowed to do. Absurd, erroneous. This is absolutely ridiculous. The fact is, if the NCAA does not come back soon, and I get it, this might not even be done until after the season ends, which is a disgrace.
And after the season ends, the injunction will be lifted.
Correct. It will be a disgrace. The fact of the matter is, you can go to your county, to your court. Shockingly, the Lubbock court said he's good to go. And I get the judge doesn't hold, I believe the judge does not hold a degree from Texas Tech. The point still remains, you know what's good for Lubbock? Having him play. You know what's good for the county? Having Sorsby play. Why do you think Alabama and Bediako said, yeah, he's good to go? By the way, if I were Sorsby, bleep it, I'd wait to the last possible second before you can make the decision. I would wait, because that way, hopefully the NCAA can't get it done in time, like we saw at Bediako, because we knew he was going to get eventually, it was going to get overturned. We knew it was all going to happen. But do it for games in SEC play so you can try and stack wins with an illegal player.
The issue for Sorsby would be if he waits that long, then he wouldn't know what the verdict is going to be before the supplemental draft.
Yeah, the 22nd. He had until June 22nd.
June 22nd, he's got to have his name in for the supplemental draft. So this could actually work against him, because if he gets this injunction and it's in August, the NCAA comes back and says, no, the injunction is overturned, or another court says the injunction is overturned, you're now permanently suspended, it would be too late to enter in the supplemental draft. Whether he was going to do that or not, I don't know.
By the way, I do get it. Like, I understand, because other teams are trying to do this, but isn't this embarrassing? Like, if you're Texas Tech, isn't this like, if Missouri did this, I'd be like, that's embarrassing, man.
Like, hell yeah, do what you got to do, man.
No, like,
you know
no,
what I mean?
that is, no, seriously, that is
right.
embarrassing. The fact of the matter is, you broke, like, the one rule, and you go through all of these hoops, and you know you're wrong. Like, you're telling me that Texas Tech doesn't know that this is wrong?
Well, the great part is, like, Texas Tech, if you're sitting there, if you're a Texas Tech fan and saying, well, yeah, but you got to do this, it just makes sense. If this was Houston or UT
yes.
or A&M, it'd be like, of course they're doing it, because they don't care about the rules. It's all about cheating, and they care about wins more than anything else. That's all they really care about. And the 2-game suspension, come on. It's Abilene Christian, then they go to Oregon State. The win total for Oregon State this year is 3.5, and he is reinstated for the Big 12 opener against Houston. Shocker, it's not a 3-game suspension. It's a 2-game suspension, so he's ready to go.
8-game suspension with that schedule, and they'd be 8-0. Like, seriously.
Probably, yes. You're not wrong. But it just so happens, if they played 3 non-conference games in a row, and then week 4 was Houston, he might be suspended for 3 games.
You know, I could see it being like the Bediako situation as well, where, you know, come August, it's overturned, because this is the type of thing that completely busts the dam open in college athletics. Because if I'm a college athlete and you see this guy, after betting $90,000 on games,
betting games in which you were on, betting games in your own team. Betting on your own team.
This, by every single measure, every single account, should have been a permanent ban from college athletics. Because if you ever want to have the iron fist come down on sports gambling in college athletics, that's the example you need to make. And I would ask this question. If Brennan Sorsby was the number 3 wide receiver on Texas Tech, do you think anybody's going to bat for him like this? No. It's because he was the most expensive transfer in college football. Ever since Cody Campbell's been funneling this money to Texas Tech, they have been one of the highest spending teams in all of college football. This was a, $5 to $6 million quarterback? Like, if this was some guy on the roster that bet $90,000 to be like, you can't do that, you're going to be banned now. And, we hold ourselves with such high standards, we ain't gonna let that fly. But since Texas Tech, coming off a college football playoff berth, a Big 12 championship, went out and got Sorsby, they spent this money on him, and this comes out, you're trying to find out the loopholes of, oh, well, this could actually really hurt his mental state if he's not allowed to play college football. Well, welcome to the real world. You knew this was against the rules. I feel bad now for Calvin Ridley, who bet sports gambled and missed an entire year of the NFL, and quite frankly, ruined his NFL career because of it.
A.J. Green was suspended and missed a season because of an autographed jersey.
Yeah, and now you're telling 18 to 27-year-old kids basically now that you can do this. If I'm a college athlete, why would I not go and sports gamble? If he does not have this overruled, why would I not do it myself? And then my pushback would be, okay, so I get punished because I'm not as good of a player as Brennan Sorsby. I'm not making as much money as him. This is the dangerous thing you would be setting, because it was the perfect example to say you broke the rules in a big way and you're going to be banned for that. He was going to be at Tech for 1 year than the NFL draft. That was going to be his path. It's not like this is some freshman coming in and you're going to take away 3 to 4 years of his collegiate career. This is such a dangerous thing to do for college athletics, because if he does it and gets away with it, why would any player be scared of gambling and throwing games and betting on themselves, betting on teams? Why would you be scared of it anymore? Because this guy was able to have a ruling overturned when he had a permanent ban, and the only argument you can have is that, well, it would hurt his mental health, his well-being. It would hurt everything if you took this away from him. He knew that.
Yes.
In betting $90,000 on games, you can't do that as a student athlete.
People understand that when they break the law, there are consequences if they get caught. They just don't think they're going to get caught if you're doing it. Well, yes, I know that if I get caught doing this, I'm going to go to jail, but it's the risk reward.
Rasheed Rice, actually, it's against my mental health if I don't drive that fast, or if I don't smoke weed while on probation. It actually hurts my mental health.
Well, I mean, if he was in college, if you're Rasheed Rice, that's all you would do is then say, I'm going to go to a rehab institute and you can't suspend me because I'm seeking help. Even though I'm seeking help after I got caught, but I'm seeking help to do this. And yeah, there are plenty of, like, Brennan Sorsby could absolutely have an addiction to gambling. Certainly seems like he gambles a lot. He could have that. But to create the argument that if the NCAA were to do this, no other player would seek help from something they're battling, either an addiction or mental health, because Sorsby was deemed ineligible permanently. Like, no, you can still do that and not break specific rules, because what it creates is, what other things could you suspend a player for in the NCAA? Being academically ineligible? No, I'm suing because he has a problem. He's got a learning disability. It has not been diagnosed yet, but we'll find a doctor that will diagnose it. And now he has a learning disability, and that's why he is unable to keep his grades up. If you deem him ineligible to play, you are hurting him and causing irreparable and imminent damage and injury to him, because now he is seeking help from something he had no control over. So you cannot deem him ineligible based on his grades, because he's getting help for it now. There's nothing you can suspend somebody for that you can't find a judge in your county to offer an injunction to say, no, this will damage him and his earning potential, even though the rule specifically states this is the consequence, a permanent ruling of ineligibility, that there was nothing along the way that you could suspend a player for.
And it wasn't like he just did this a couple times when he was the backup quarterback in Indiana. It kept going on. It says continue to gamble after transferring from Cincinnati to Texas Tech in December of 2025. This is not him just saying, yeah, I made a couple bets when I was at IU as a backup quarterback.
He placed 40 bets on Indiana when he played for Indiana. It wasn't one bet. He bet 40 different times when he was at Indiana on his own team. That's not a random. Yes, that seems like that's probably it's a problem. There's an addiction there. But it doesn't mean that you are then immune from suffering the consequences of said rules that you broke.
Pete Rose cannot make it to the Hall of Fame because of that, and yet Sorsby might not miss a single game because of this. Or he might miss
he missed two.
He missed two.
Yeah,
like think about that. Like,
games.
Pete Rose, hits leader, over 4K, can't make it to the Hall of Fame. You're banned for life. Sorsby misses, looks like now, 2 games.
What if you point shave? What if you
have an addiction to point shaving and you can't help it?
What's
Can't help
gambling?
it. It's bad for me. I have to. It's,
No, but it's a gambling addiction.
addiction.
It's an addiction, point shaving, or, well, this particular syndicate was threatening his family. He had no choice. Now what you're saying is if you deem him ineligible the rest of the way, if somebody then threatens somebody's family if they don't do this, you're saying that they then have to take the risk of their family being hurt instead of doing this? This is now opening the door. If you deem him ineligible, it's opening the door for more of these gambling syndicates to threaten the livelihood of these players and their families if they don't do what they're asked in point shaving or throwing games along the way. I mean, there's no argument that you can't come up with to be able to offer that this is a reasonable conclusion that this person will be permanently damaged and injured if you do said thing and deem him permanently ineligible because of gambling, because of point shaving, because of drugs, because of grades and not being academically eligible, being too old now, I mean, running out of eligibility and trying to get injunctions with that and getting extra years of eligibility just randomly along the way. Like, yeah, there are a lot of things that you can find in your own county. The question would be, outside of Lubbock County, is this upheld?
I've said for the longest time, and I know I joked about it, that you know, if Missouri did, they'd have to do this in Lawrence or vice versa. They do it in Columbia. But seriously, you should not be able to do it in your own county. Like, you should have to go. I'm not saying you have to do it at in Texas, but like, I don't know, go to Wyoming, get it literally unbiased. Go somewhere where you can go find unbiased and do this, make it happen. I mean, Alabama, Bediaco doing it in Tuscaloosa.
Wyoming is traditionally a Texas Tech fan base.
As
a lot
we
of
all
people
know,
don't realize that.
Cowboys and Red Raiders, they
That's
get along
exactly
very,
right.
very well.
Exactly right.
But
Guns up.
I do think it matters of if you want any sort of transparency, and hey, maybe they would have said, you know what, we do believe it. You would at least have some credibility if a random unbiased place would be on your side. Now, again, I don't think they would. But just this can't continue to go on. There has to be some sort of honesty, some sort of transparency. And again, the NCAA for so long pushed back so hard that I understand now taking the other side of let's get them back. But can we try and find some sort of middle ground? Like, where are we at as a society when this is what's going on?
I was waiting for you to get there.
Kidding me?
I was waiting for you to get there.
I would say that just college athletics in general is in a really, really bad spot. And we knew that when NIL became a thing, it was opening Pandora's box. And at the time, a lot of people said, well, this is great because all these years that college athletes couldn't make money off of their jersey being sold or their picture being in a restaurant, now they get that opportunity. It's great for the sport. They can make these deals. They can make money for themselves and not just be this team that everybody else is profiting off of. But it's opened this door to so many different things. The transfer portal, leaving and going to 5 schools in 5 years, sports betting, and just being there for the money. And if college athletics isn't careful, I mean, we're going to watch it, right? Mm-hmm. I've never been that person that says I'm not going to watch it anymore because they just have NIL and there's gambling. We're going to watch it. But the integrity of college athletics is completely gone at this point. It doesn't matter anymore, right? This is a professional league where guys are there for money. They're going to do stuff like this. The NCAA doesn't have any rules in place. We got guys on their 7th year of college athletics. You can make up reasons to get an extra year of eligibility. Oh, I played 4 games, then I got hurt. I didn't care about it for 2 or 3 years, but now I do. Now I want that extra year. And the NCAA can't do anything about it. They just continue to keep the door open, let these things happen, and you're going to create so many villains in college football. I mean, who in the world actually thought that in 2026, Texas Tech could be one of the biggest villains in college athletics? Nobody could have thought that. It was always UT. It was always Texas. They're the team to hate. They have this elitist mentality. We're better than everybody else. All these other Texas schools are annoying and they suck. And then now Texas Tech, with all this money, not only are they just bringing in all these players with $1 million contracts, they've got a quarterback, the center of their team, that didn't just bet. He was betting on a team that he was playing for. He would have been at those practices. He would have seen what was going on. And for years, not just in college athletics, sports in general, if you bet on games, not even just your team, you got banned. You got a severe, severe punishment. And if the NCAA had any intelligent people working for it, you would say, this might be the golden goose to finally say, you do this, your career's ruined. You won't play in the NFL. You won't be able to get an extra year of eligibility. You are done. You want to scare them straight that if you bet like this or bet just anything, any amount of money on any game, you are permanently banned from the NCAA and your career will be over. I get it. That's harsh because you're telling a 21-year-old kid everything he's worked for is now gone, which is why they had this ruling of immediate damage that you can't, overturn in the future. Like, he would therefore be set up for a path of failure because of what he did. But also in the real world, you do something like this, you get punished for it. You don't get to go back and change history. When he put $90,000 worth of bets on these games, he had to, in his mind, go, if I get caught, my career is over. He would be an idiot if he didn't think that. So the NCAA doing this and leaving the door open and going, you know what? I feel bad for the kid because we don't want to have blood in our hands that this kid could go down a bad path if we don't let him play college football. I'd do it again. I seriously would. Oh, you let me back in? Then, okay, I might place some bets through a different route now. And
I got to go back to rehab because it didn't stick this time.
Yeah.
Fell off the wagon, and now I'm going to head back to rehab. And at that point, I would say, all right, he does have a problem at this point.
Can he place bets on the over-under on how many games he plays? Is that going to happen?
Well, I think maybe it's the long game here because his Heisman odds are now plus 2,200. So he's done a really good job. He can play. I mean, he can play his own Heisman odds, and he's got a pretty good return on that bet. I mean, his Heisman odds have plummeted. So that's just smart if you're playing the long game there. I think the integrity part is a big one because you do know the scales slide. How good is that player versus how much you're willing to put up with? And if this was, as you said, the third wide receiver on the roster, or the fourth defensive tackle, or the third or fourth, the backup swing tackle on offense, that this was happening with, probably like, all right, sorry, man, you knew what you did. You made your mistakes. And there's nothing we could do. You're permanently, it says it right there in the rule book, you're permanently ineligible. But you pay somebody over $5 million to be your quarterback that you think is the difference between winning a national championship or losing in the first round of the playoffs. Well, we're going to fight a little bit harder for this guy because there is a lot more return there. And it's like, okay, well, the integrity of, look, man, we can't do that. This is the consequences of your own action. It only becomes that when it's tough to actually live up to. It's the same thing I've said when it comes with the Kansas City Chiefs and Rashee Rice. You talk about the culture of the Chiefs. Well, the culture is difficult to live up to, or it's only worth talking about or holds any weight when you have to make difficult decisions. They did that with Kareem Hunt, but that was because he lied to the owner.
Yeah.
And so apparently that's the only time that they can move on from you is if you lie to the owner. If Rashee Rice had lied to Clark Hunt and said, I'm no longer smoking weed, and then he gets caught with THC in his system, well, he's probably cut at that point. But he's too good to release. If this was somebody on the practice squad, one, they wouldn't have been on the team after the car wreck in the first place and leaving the scene. It would be then ex-chief, is seen leaving the scene here because he would have been released the next day. It makes it, your level of culture or integrity is only worth its weight when it is difficult and tough to actually live up to that. It would be a difficult and tough decision to move on from Rashee Rice, but it's hard to preach culture, and then be like, no, it's good, we're good. He's just simply doing what he was required to do in the first place. If we stayed with him through all of this and the plea deal, why would we then move on when he's just simply forced to do what he was already forced to do anyway? It's just no longer on his time. He's good with it. Like, yeah, but there is a sliding scale because if Mahomes is doing that, in no way, shape, or form would you cut Mahomes.
I think what's so frustrating, and it is a little funny because of what we do. Like, we talk sports, we talk people, we talk players.
We talk gambling.
The fact is, why are there no repercussions because they are good as an athlete? Like, why do the repercussions become so much less? At some point, they're just
because of the talent, it's what you offer.
But they're just
You
a
offer more
human
than-
being. I mean, like,
Yeah.
end of the day, they're just a person. I don't understand this. Like, I don't get why we have to act like, well, he did all that. But, again, if one of us did what she was doing, we wouldn't have had any of those opportunities. I think we can pretty much say we would be in jail.
Yeah.
I think we can pretty much all agree there.
And I don't know what the standard operating procedure is, but I bet I wouldn't be allowed to go to a hospital to rehab a knee injury if I got knee surgery before I was forced to go to jail for 30 days.
Correct. I think
I'm
you're
gonna go ahead
stuck in jail.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go ahead and guess that they would not transport me to a hospital daily to go through rehab and then transport me back to the jail to serve my 30 days. I would go ahead and guess that would not be granted to me.
We aren't like any different. Like I understand, and it's all about value and all of these different things, but we're all people. Why? Because you can catch a football or you can throw a football, all of a sudden rules no longer apply to you. I think it's absurd. It's one of the silliest things we have. And again, this is coming from someone who does sports talk radio. My job is to talk about these things. And I don't understand why we have to put these guys on a pedestal and act like they aren't smart enough to understand there are repercussions for actions. Because basically what we're saying is, you know what? They're just dumb.
Well, I mean,
Brendan Sorsby, he's just dumb. It's not his fault.
It's anything else in life, though. I mean, the talent will give you the sliding scale.
You aren't guaranteed the right to play college football or to play in the NFL.
Agreed.
You aren't
Unless
guaranteed
you are
that.
really, really talented. Even Deshaun Watson is still playing, and he's a sexual predator. And he's still, I mean, somebody traded first-round picks and gave him a fully guaranteed contract because they were so desperate to find a quarterback because they felt like his talent overcame what they were saying about themselves as an organization and people to bring that particular player in and onto your team because the talent was there. You are willing to sacrifice what you feel like you stand for because this can give you a greater reward and a gain monetarily, career-wise, and the better you are, I understand the question, but the answer is you offer more to that particular business or franchise or company with them and suffering through that than you do if they were to move on from you. And it'll be like that for, the near future, the long-term future. If your talent outweighs the issues you bring, they will put up with stuff. If your talent is not there, you'd better have your nose clean. You'd better not make any mistakes along the way. Whether that's good or bad, you got some guys that'll continue to make those mistakes because they have been coddled and the things have worked in their favor along the way, and they haven't necessarily been held to the same standard that those. But same thing with money. Like if you're broke and you have to go to court as opposed to being rich and go to court, the standards are going to be a little bit different. Just as the standards were different for Rashee Rice than they would be for somebody that didn't have money and was in that same situation. And again, I doubt if he wasn't an NFL player, he'd be getting transported to and from the hospital to go through rehab every day.
I mean, that's the exact point I was going to make of right now in Lubbock, Texas, when you've got Cody Campbell and you're a quarterback making $5 to $6 million, I'm sure the minute this news broke, they said we have the financial flexibility to get you out of this. And here's the dumb part is, what was it, 3 days ago he was deemed ineligible? Like it was denied, right? His request to play in 2026 was denied. 2 days later, he's approved. It's because these things now with the NCAA, it's like you can appeal, it seems like 3 or 4 times, which is why I believe the blowback on this is going to be so horrific and so negative, like 100% negative outside of Lubbock, Texas. The only people right now in fan base and university that is thrilled with this result is Texas Tech. And when the NCAA sees it in the same way it was with Charles Bediako, right? When he got approved, the overwhelming feeling around the country was, this is horrible for college athletics that we are allowing this to happen. A guy that played for the university 2 years ago goes to the NBA, plays in the G League, now he's back. That should never be approved. And what happened? Eventually, he was deemed ineligible, and then it came down to, well, do you take away these wins now for Alabama? And that was something I didn't believe in, as much as I hated that and hated Alabama for it. He was deemed eligible at the time. So it's like, you guys told us he was okay to play, therefore you can't penalize us for that. But you got to put rules in place here. And that's why I think the blowback on this is going to be so big and so negative. The NCAA is going to probably have a ruling in July or August where it's, this is not going to happen. 2-game suspension, that is not even a slap on the wrist. That's just spitting in somebody's direction and not even hitting them. That's what it really would be.
Maybe the NCAA comes back and says, okay, we'll work with you. If you say that this will disincentivize from others seeking help they desperately need, we'll work with you. We're going to grant you 1 extra year of eligibility, but you are suspended for the 2026 season. You can return for 2027 and play, but you will serve a full year suspension. You are not permanently ineligible, and we're even allowing you to play an extra year.
Yeah. And
just go and do that.
And then he'll probably
and then he's going to go, oh, no, I don't want to. Well, hold on. We're not permanently damaging you.
Yeah.
We're saying you are serving a suspension. All we're saying is you wanted a 2-game suspension. We're making it a 12-game suspension and postseason. But you can return next year and play. Let's see what they do then. Well, no, that's too harsh. No, you said permanent suspension was too harsh. You didn't say, you've already said you're allowing him to serve a suspension. So you've opened up that Pandora's box of saying, yes, he did something wrong, he should serve a suspension. Now we're just negotiating about how bad that suspension should be.
Jason, the lawyer Anderson.
Yeah, come on back with that, NCAA. Let's see where your priorities really are, Texas Tech. Do you care about him? And say, you know what, it's for the best interest of him. Because the best interest of him, and not necessarily Texas Tech, would be, all right, the NCAA has said you're not permanently suspended. Thank God. You can still play 1 more year of college football. You can play it here at Texas Tech. It's just going to be in 2027.
And what are you setting college athletes up to do when you just accept their reasoning of, well, I'm nothing without football. You do this to me, I'm never going to be able to recover. The goal, and maybe this is just me being too ethical in trying to...
I've always said that Jack Johnson's too ethical.
You know, that's what I strive for here.
Yeah.
But really, when these guys go to play college football, we know a big part of it is a college education. And I get it. Like, your focus is winning a national championship, getting to the NFL, having a huge career, making millions and millions of dollars. But you also have to teach these guys that, hey, when you screw up, it's also important to know that you have life after football. How many guys do we know that bet everything on football, went to the NFL, didn't do anything, and then were miserable? We hear these stories, these documentaries of the depression they fall into, the addictions they fall into. Like, this is something where you go, well, you are nothing without football. We need to make sure that you've got a career here. It was a huge mistake that he made. And if this was 20 years ago, they would never be even given a hearing. They would be punished and blacklisted, and you'd never hear from them again. And they had to figure out a way the rest of their lives to make the most out of it, to become a contributing member to society or to athletics or some way, shape, or form. To me, this is rewarding the behavior of, you're right. We have to let him play because he's making $5 million, and it's important to our team. He is nothing without college football. If he really was a gambling addict, well, guess what? The college football season doesn't matter then. Your well-being and you beating this addiction is the most important. It shouldn't be 2 games. This should be a year-long approach of, we got to make sure you never do this again because you can put yourself in serious danger. You brought up when it comes to throwing games and betting on yourself. There are other entities involved in that. That's not just, DraftKings and stuff, right? We have heard those documentaries. Remember, it was Arizona State and their gambling. There were parties outside of that they were dealing with that you can put yourself in serious danger with. And when you're working with that much money, we know that this can happen. And to reward it and to just give him the slap on the wrist, I think it sends such a terrible message, not only to him, but to every single college athlete out there playing.
When Jonte Porter has many, many, many millions at his fingertips in his career, and he's so in debt with a bookie that he decides to go and throw some prop bets for him, then it shows you how quickly you can get in debt with them and what the danger might be of you trying to figure out a way out of it. And what Texas Tech is essentially saying to the NCAA, and I know we're going to take a break, is, hey, he went to a rehab facility for 35 days. He's good. It was such an issue and addiction that after 35 days, he's good to go, and he should be allowed to go back to doing exactly what he was doing before. And he won't do this anymore. What I would say if I'm the NCAA, prove it. June 1, 2027, you prove that you've kept your nose clean, you are reinstated with a year of eligibility. But you have not proven it by going to 35 days of a rehab facility, that you are completely fine and you're not going to gamble anymore. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Jack Johnson hanging out with us until noon. Joel Penfield joins us at noon, talking a little Royals baseball. You got 2,200 for Sorsby and Heisman, Sterling?
No, I honestly don't think he plays the. Like,
Do
know
I
we
get
said
my
2
money
games.
back if I place my money?
You'll get it back and then some. They'll give you some more bonus.
Honestly, I don't think he plays this year. If we're taking a poll around the room, I think he'll eventually. NCAA, I think, will finally show some stones and say no. I know what we're hearing. I understand that it might be done until after the season. I think they'll find a way to get something done.
I don't know. How would it be done? The injunction happened this quickly. How would then you not be able to find a court outside of Lubbock to offer an injunction to the injunction? What's your function?
Remember that Bediako
Conjunction junction.
They came back pretty quick. What was it, a couple weeks, a month maybe?
He played for like 2 weeks.
It was like 2 weeks, but then the NCAA said, because there was a talk of the same thing of they won't be able to do anything until after the season, and then 2 weeks later they're like, no, this is dumb.
We'll do it right now.
I do think we'll find out.
If you're Sorsby, you'd like it to be done earlier than later.
Correct. You have until the 22nd.
Because then, and I wonder, can you put your paperwork in to be in the supplemental draft if you have an injunction to play this year? Could you still then file the paperwork for the supplemental draft for June 22nd? That's not when the supplemental draft is. That's the deadline for you to have your paperwork to apply for the supplemental draft on June 22nd. The draft would be sometime in July. Probably, you know what they should do? Same day as the MLB draft. Let's see if the NFL really does have power. We're going to host the supplemental draft where one player is available on the same day that the MLB draft is that night, and we'll see who tunes in, what the higher rating is, to see who wins the Brendan Sorsby sweepstakes in July. But I wonder if you're allowed to do that. If not, then you'd probably want the conclusion sooner rather than later, so you know that if I can enter the supplemental draft or not, and I can go play in the NFL. But yeah, I don't think he's going to play this year. Jack?
I find it hard to believe. I mean, it's such an egregious ruling that it wouldn't surprise me a week from now if somehow it's overturned. I mean, it's just there's no way you can look around this and say he was duped by anybody, like he was in a bad situation because of adults. We've seen that in the NCAA of kids that have been suspended and been deemed ineligible because of adults' screw-ups. This is all him, and for years you kind of seen those loopholes of like, well, he was betting on games, but it was not even his team. It was an NFL game. Or how does that impact what he's doing, right? How could a college athlete betting on an NFL game impact anything he's doing? But the NCAA would say, no, we're not going to condone sports gambling. He's suspended. This was a guy betting on a team he was playing for. That is as black and white as it gets. That is the easiest ruling you could possibly have. The only reason that this was overturned is because, as you can tell right now, looking at any TV or pulling up any news headline, Lubbock County, Texas court judge. And I know he's not a Texas Tech grad, but Sterling said it. Like, Brendan Sorsby playing for Texas Tech this year brings in a lot of revenue to the city. He does, right? You go undefeated, you win the Big 12, you have college game day, big noon kickoff, all those things. That brings in a lot of money. Sold out games, you've got a quarterback. It changes their season drastically if he's not able to play, because you got a backup for the entire year. Even with a weaker schedule, it's unlikely you win a national championship. Does Sorsby get him there? Well, clearly because they've tried so much to get this overturned, they believe that. And they've got money, and they've got power, and as it's always been for the rest of history, if you've got money and power, you can get out of a lot of things. And that's clearly the case with Brendan Sorsby.
It's a good point about the, sorry, Michael, but real quick, a good point about, keep that thought, Michael, about the players being suspended for adults' actions, the FBI investigation with Oklahoma State and Louisville and NC State and all of that stuff. Brian Bowen was at the center of that, and his dad was taking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in a handout from Louisville's assistant coach and staying at the nicest hotel, living at the nicest hotel in Louisville that's like $500 a night. His dad was living there. Bowen deemed ineligible because of the money that was given to his dad for him to go to Louisville.
I just wanted to ask this hypothetical question. Let's just say that Sorsby does play, leads, Texas Tech to winning a college football playoff, like national championship, does the NCAA then vacate that championship?
No, I think they have no teeth at that point. You would just then fight it. And you know what Texas Tech would do? Oh, you want to vacate it? Cool. We're going to keep the banners up and we're going to unveil Texas Tech National Champions 2026. Right?
Nobody's scared of the NCAA.
They would do that. Yes.
I keep breaking rules. Like, if you're another team right now, go and get an NBA player. Go and get an NFL player.
Like, honestly, if I'm Kansas, I put 2018 Final Four back up.
Yeah.
I don't care. What are you going to do? What? We can't recruit for 5 days? Oh, cool. Neat. We're still Kansas. If I'm Louisville, I'm raising the 2013 National Championship banner. Bleep you. Brendan Sorsby gets to play. Come after us. We're going to sue you in Jefferson County Court. We're going to sue you. We're going to have a Lawrence judge say 2018 is reinstated. Put the banner back up. What's the NCAA going to do? We watched it. It happened. They went to the Final Four. Keep it up there. The NCAA doesn't have any teeth at this point. So, no, they wouldn't be able to go back and say ineligible because they didn't do it to Alabama and Bediako, which would have been easy in regular season games. No chance they would then go back and say playoff games and a national championship is deemed ineligible because this player was allowed to play. By a court ruling, he was allowed to play. I just don't think you would have the teeth at that point. You would just simply say, well, it sucks, we lost.
To play off Michael's hypothetical here, and it's not really about the sports gambling, but it does involve Texas Tech. If he plays, are they universally the number one most hated team in college football for 2026? Like, you have to take out your rival here. Like, would you go, if you're in Tuscaloosa and you're an Alabama fan, do you watch Texas Tech? It's like, you know what? I hate them. I despise them. We got screwed with Bediako, and they could have Sorsby. Like, do they become the number one most hated team in college football if he plays?
I would say, like, on a scale of, like, the most hated teams in college football, it's like Texas, Kansas, then, we would go to
Notre Dame.
Both dominant programs.
Ohio State.
Yes.
Like, do they
Kansas again.
all of those teams?
I think maybe for a while if he plays, then
it quiets down.
Then I think it'll quiet down. I think Houston and those next couple of games that he plays, and then it'll eventually quiet down, and it'll just be because when the 2 weeks after Bediako was deemed eligible, he was out there playing, and people were like, "Oh, Bediako's on the floor." Then he was deemed ineligible, but by the time he was deemed ineligible, it had sort of been accepted, and other coaches have said, "Well, hell, we're going to start looking around to do this." And other teams were like, "Well, if they do it, why didn't our team do it? You should look for a pro." Like Jerome Tang was like, "Well, I'd like to piss people off. We need to be looking at this as well, whatever helps us." So I think a couple weeks, 2-3 games, I think at that point it's sort of, you move on and it would quiet down. I don't think they'll ever rise to the level of Texas or Bama or Ohio State or Michigan or things like that. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling more zone next. All right, man, if you're out there and you happen to be suffering from erectile dysfunction, maybe it happened once or twice, you laughed it off, no big deal, no worries, everything will be fine, but then it starts to happen a little more and more, the stressors, the pressure, some other things start to build, and it becomes a problem that is a condition that can cause depression and arguments and breakups, even contribute to divorce. Oftentimes the partner believes and thinks that it is their fault, and it is also caused by many underlying conditions. Maybe you've tried the pills or the herbals and they have failed. Well, Heartland Men's Health is the spot for you, and they have treatments that work when that happens. In fact, they have treatments with success rates well over 90%. They have been successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. It is not a simple, generic, hey, this is what other men have done to be able to try to fix this particular problem. It will work for you too. If it doesn't, well, too bad. No, everything is tailored specific to what is going on with you. Simply schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit, it's only $99. That includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, it's free. You don't pay a dime. If it does, there you go. You're on your way to figuring out what's going on. An expert staff with 3 locations to serve you at Heartland Men's Health, Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, and Jason sent you. 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. All right, wrapping things up here on this second hour of the show. We'll talk some Royals baseball on the other side. Break them up. They're so hot. They're so hot right now. Are you kidding me? Hansel's so hot right now. You know, for a while, all they could do was turn left. Blue steel wasn't working for him anymore. And now...
NASCAR.
Great story, Hansel. I invented the piano key necktie. I invented it.
Vinny's getting hot.
That's right.
Noah Cameron's getting hot.
That's right.
Starlin Marte hit an absolute nuke. I mean, 441?
The Vinny Pasquantino School for kids that want to hit really well but can't hit really well. It has to be at least 3 times that size. What is this, a school for ants? All right.
Lang's hot right now.
Oh, my gosh. Who hasn't had a gasoline fight before?
Joel Penfield on the Zone is brought to you by Reed Collision Center, serving Overland Park, Kansas City, and St. Joe. Get a free photo estimate in minutes at reedcollision.com. That's reedcollision.com.
All right, hanging out here on a Monday edition of The Zone. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Joel Penfield, One Royal Way podcast, joining us here in The Zone on a Monday. Joel, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Glad to be back, guys.
Well, we appreciate it. It's a different feel, different conversation today than I'm assuming that you and Sterling had last week. We were flying to Orlando last week during the show, so I didn't get a chance to hear it. But I can imagine there was a lot of frustration about not winning many games.
Yeah, a lot of that, a lot of figuring out who's going to get traded and all that. And then, of course, they rattle off a 5-2.
Well, yeah.
Coming off of that. So
as one does.
Yeah.
Yes, of course you would do that. So what do you make of the 5-2 stretch? Let's start here, bigger picture then, and then we can talk about some of these specifics of maybe some players that could be playing a significant role if the Royals are to move forward and playing closer to this. Is a 5-2 record closer to how they were playing even when they got swept or had a rougher home stand, when there were some closer games or the offense was scoring but the pitching was letting them down? Is the 5-2, 7 games, more of the, okay, this feels like things are coming together and they probably should have won a number of games along the way, that it's just baseball, that it wasn't falling in their favor?
There's an element of that, but they're also still 12 games under 500. So I'm not going to sit here and retcon what we saw the previous 6 weeks where, it was really up and down and really inconsistent, losing a lot of games. But it was good to see them be able to stack wins together when we really haven't seen them do that for, a year and a half at this point, where they win a couple of these games. You're like, oh, sweet, they're finding a way, and then they go and rattle off 2 or 3 in a row, losing for any number of reasons. So to see them find a way to win that series in Cincinnati, get that game late after the devastating loss on Tuesday, to then go and taking 3 or 4 from Minnesota, and Minnesota's not a world beater, neither is Cincinnati, but you take the wins where you can get them. You can't control your schedule. But it was good to see them find a way to stack wins and keep things rolling. Hopefully now you have a team in Texas that I think they're still competitive with. I know that they got swept by Texas, but I think now coming back to Kansas City, I think you have an opportunity there. Houston is still not been a great team this year. They are playing better as of late with Jordan back, but we'll see how it goes. But it was good to see them be able to get on a nice stretch there for a little bit.
Yeah, the Tuesday game reminded me of the first game of the Yankees series after they took 2 of 3 from Seattle.
Yes.
And they're playing the Yankees at home, and they've got a 3-2 lead in the 9th inning, and they end up blowing that game. And Urseg comes in, 4 hits, 2 runs. You lose. You don't get anything there in the bottom half, and you lose that game. And it was like, you just took 2 of 3 from the Mariners. You had a win at your fingertips against the Yankees, and you blew that. And then it felt like, all right, they've just let go of the rope.
Yep, because I think they were outscored,
22-1. Yep,
Yeah.
And then 9-1 the first game against Texas, when it was like, okay, let's get away.
Exactly.
Let's go on the road. Oh, that didn't help. Okay, that's fine. We've struggled. We've got this game now, except then you blow the save there. But the second game against Cincinnati felt like that New York Yankees first game of that series, that, okay, fine, you've you're feeling like, okay, you've broke the streak there, you're playing good baseball, not good baseball, but you win 9-2. It's a laugher.
Yeah.
And you're leading there to win the series immediately. And you blow that game. And Wednesday was a surprise in how they came out and won. And then Thursday winning against the Twins as well. Those 2 games may have done a lot for finishing up the road trip and maybe feeling like there's a glimmer there, as Sterling said. There's a gleam. I don't even think there's a gleam. There's like a glimmer, a little sparkle way, way down the road.
There's a sparkle.
And it's like a little tease because of the way they finished the road trip 4-1 after blowing the game against the Reds. When the last time they did that, it felt like they were just like, bleep it, we're toast.
Yeah, and it's you're 12 games under 500. Have you checked the wild card standings? They're only 5.5 out of the wild card spot. The entire American League is the NFC South, as we will just continue that analogy as we keep rolling.
Yes,
but
it's the perfect analogy, though.
But it shows, I think, Sterling and I talked a lot about, who could be traded at the deadline and stuff. The trade deadline in the for a lot of these American League teams on the periphery, that third wild card spot, it's going to be a staring contest of who actually is going to sell and who's just going to sit there and hope that they have enough because the American League is so terrible.
You've got 6 teams outside of the playoffs within 4 games.
Yeah.
That 6th team is 9 games under 500 in Boston, and they're 4 games out of a wild card spot. Like, you've got to make a decision eventually. You've got 5 weeks, essentially, and it's up to the Royals players at this point because they can force the hand either way of JJ in the front office. How they play over the next 5 weeks will dictate, does this team stay together, or is this a rebuild or a
retooling.
Retooling is probably the better term.
Yes.
A retooling for potentially 27, but maybe even more 28. And 28 turns into 2024, but then it's 28 and 29 and 30 before Bobby opts out of his contract at that point. You play good baseball over the next 5 weeks. I said you play 600 baseball over the next 5 weeks. Tough to do. It's asking a lot for a team that's
asking a lot.
12 games under 500. You'd probably put yourself within a game or two of the the wild card at that point. Maybe you're within 4 games of the division. At that point, JJ in the front office might say, well, let's go buy. Let's go see if we can continue this, because the Tigers went from being 16 games out and 9 games under 500 in 2024 to then making the playoffs back-to-back years and being one of the favorites to make the playoffs and win the division this year. Because... and it's not even because they bought, they sold.
Yeah.
And they still were able to turn that around.
They found a way to win a bunch of games late.
Yeah. And then carried that over into 2025, where the Royals could not carry over 2024 into 2025.
Yeah, these next 5 weeks are the most important for this franchise in the next few years. I mean, certainly, because if they do what they've done basically all year and play mediocre baseball, then Walker's gone, potentially Lugo's gone. You're going to make Bubic and any others that you feel are expendable that still have maybe a year or two of control, and then you got to retool the thing next year if we play baseball, and then 2028 is the, like you're trying to run it back to 2024, and Bobby's in the middle of his prime. You still got a couple more years with Vinny and Massey and Michael and whoever else you decide, is a part of this thing. We're going to learn a lot over these next 5 to 6 weeks.
Do you think this is a conversation that'll play out at the end of July, but do you think the unknown of 27 or the expectation of probably not playing some baseball in 2027, maybe the whole year, does that impact the trade deadline where maybe teams are like, you know what, I'm not going to take this guy that's a couple of years away because we're not going to be able to develop him next year. Like 2027, we can't be around him. It's a lockout, it's a strike, whatever. He's going to have to develop on his own, and it's a full year of losing this guy's development. That doesn't have the value that it did a year ago.
I think we may see, maybe this isn't necessarily Royal specific, but teams that are kind of like on the periphery of just, F it, we're not going to play baseball next year more than likely. Let's just go for it now and just push our chips to the middle and see what happens. Like, I think there are going to be those teams that are, or teams that are maybe at the end of their contention window that in most years would just go, it's just not our year, and cut bait. That I think you're going to see a lot of teams buying at the deadline and really trying to go for it because of the unknown.
Which makes it a seller's market, so it might be better for the Royals in general just to be like, you know what? Kind of sucks. You got to take your medicine this year and eat your vegetables, but it could be better long term if it is a seller's market.
It might be, yeah.
That the Royals then get more value, more bang for their buck. They're getting, $1.20 for their dollar instead of, if they trade Cole Reagans right now, you're getting 50 cents on the dollar versus what you could have got in the offseason last year, or certainly what you could have got after 2024.
Certainly, yeah.
That's when you had the max value of Cole Reagans was after the 2024 season. You'd have got probably $1.50 or $2 on the dollar at that point, based on injury history and things like that. The guys that they may trade, I don't think Cole Reagans is one of them, because I don't think you're going to get the value back of what the Royals think he could offer when he's healthy. Because will there be enough time to prove, no, this guy's going to pitch like this and stay healthy if we give up this amount of prospects for the next couple of years of team control for Cole Reagans, who hasn't been healthy the last 2 years.
Right. I don't think he's going to be on any team's radar unless they just the Royals are just like, hey, you know what? Let's just get what we can for him because of the massive unknown of his production and the injury history. But I don't think there's going to be many teams that bank on that either. Right?
Another random one when it comes to the potential labor dispute with the Major League Baseball draft. Does it make it more enticing or less enticing to go high school longer term than college closer to the big leagues if you have a year of not being able to develop that player, be around them? I could make an argument, and my first thought is, well, you'd probably go high school because it's a longer term anyway, and you're kind of getting him to then refine in 2028, and now he's, 19 or 20, as opposed to if a college kid's 22, and then you have a full year of not being around him. Maybe he's playing independent baseball or something like that, but you can't control the pitch count. You can't control the health of his arm. You can't control those things. And now you get him back in 2028, and maybe he's not the player he was before, or Asa Lacy, or something along those lines, versus, okay, the high school kid had to go and play another summer league, and he's just Bobby Witt, a year older, when Bobby Witt was older for his draft class.
Yeah, that's an interesting angle. I hadn't necessarily considered that. I guess the spin zone to the college side is how much minor league time would the guy need when he comes back. Like, if he does go, say the guy goes and plays in, you let him go play indie ball for the season. He plays for the Monarchs and smashes, and then he comes into spring training 28, and it's like, oh, this guy might be ready now, and he can help us now instead of maybe needing to wait another year or two. So that would be the other side of the coin.
Visiting with Joel Penfield, One Royal Way podcast. What do you do as the closer? Is it you ride the hot hand and now it's just committee the rest of the year, whether Estevez is available or whatever happens, Lynch or Urseg or Cruz or Strom, or is it Alex Lang's job because he's the only other guy with closing as a main closer on a team from 2023 when he had the 24, 25 saves for the Tigers?
This is I'm so glad you brought this up because I can bring my analogy that I used from my podcast last night to the radio. Okay, so there's a song by a band called The Great Divide. They're a red dirt country band out of Stillwater.
Sterling?
Correct. 90s, early 2000s. They have a song called College Days about their time in Stillwater. There's a line in the song that is reference to a Jimi Hendrix poster covering up a hole in the wall. Alex Lang is the Jimi Hendrix poster. Like, it is a temporary solution to a problem that we need to fix down the line.
Yeah.
But it is solving the problem in the immediate. That is how I view this closing situation. Like, yes, he's gotten the job done. Has it been muddy every single time? Yes. But he does have the ability to go and get strikeouts and swing and miss, that not many other guys in this bullpen have right now. Chase rate, whiff rate are over 30% for him, which is in line with what you want from a closer. The game on Saturday, he needed 2 strikeouts with runners on first and second with 1 out, and he got them both. He threw a sweeper down and away, got a strikeout, and then front door to Cutter to Lewis and won the game there. Not sure there are many other Royals relievers right now in that situation that when you need a strikeout are going to get one for you. Lucas Ursig certainly is not that. Daniel Lynch can, but I still don't think there's not the same penchant for strikeouts that Alex Lang has. So I still think they're going to ride matchups more often than not, but if Lang is fresh and available, I think he's going to get the first crack at it until proven otherwise.
You could go Raquel Welch and Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
It's another one that the poster covering up the hole to escape from the jail and the prison that is this Royal season that we are all in. This continuous.
How did he get it back on, though? Like, how did he get the poster back on with no creases?
Well, you got the sticky thing. You really, really create that sticky part at the bottom so that when it falls, and then it's so sticky at the bottom that it just stays there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one part that really kind of.
If you want to really pick nits at a great movie, yes.
Yeah, that would be it. Like, how does it get?
Stop doing that. It's, nobody cares about that.
Well,
they just care about the fact that he was able to do that. And you know what he went through after he got through that tunnel?
What did he get through?
A lot of crap.
Oh, okay.
He dealt with a lot of crap.
Which there's an analogy for this Royals season there as well.
The Royals fans have dealt with a lot of crap to hopefully get to that beachfront, and wait there for Red to join us eventually one day. That would be great. Let me ask you this. Would it be matchup specific that Q would be willing to go Daniel Lynch in the 9th if there are a few lefties coming up in the lineup?
Absolutely. I think he showed that in it was in Seattle at the beginning of May when they had, I think, two or three lefties coming up. He finished off the 8th inning and then came back out against the 2 lefties. I think that there's certainly that possibility. But I do think he's also shown he's really good in that 7th, 8th inning fireman role that Lucas Ursig had success therein. And they need a guy like that, and he has more of the ability to get righties out this year than in previous years because he changed up his pitch mix a little bit, and that's helped him in that role as well.
The reason I bring it up is he's had a propensity, Q has, of when I find a guy as the closer, that's who he sticks with. And so it was obviously Estevez, then it was Ursig. Now it's Alex Lang that's been that guy for 3 games, and you went Ursig last night because of availability and things like that. What I bring up is the Yankees game with Daniel Lynch to Ursig, and Daniel Lynch pitched the 8th, had 8 pitches in the 8th inning, and it was like, well, yeah, you bring in Daniel Lynch and you don't go with others because he's facing lefties, right? But then the 9th inning, 2 of the first 3 batters were lefties, and you went with Ursig. And the analogy I brought up in comparison was, or example, is if Q has a guy who is OPSing 880 against a lefty that's at the plate, would he pinch hit for him for a guy who's OPSing 300 against lefties? There's no chance.
No.
But he did that with Daniel Lynch to Ursig because Ursig's my guy. He's the 9th inning guy. And I worry that right now Q is Alex Lang's my guy. He's the 9th inning guy. So even if there's a couple lefties coming up, well, I used Strom earlier against lefties, but he's my guy. So he's there to get the guys out in the 9th inning, righty or lefty.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I'm not totally sold on that, but I see the point that you're making there. But I do think they said it's going to be matchup dependent. I think it was really just Lang has shut the door 3 straight times, so I think he's going to get first crack, but if either he's unavailable or the matchup shows something different or they have to go to Lang earlier for whatever reason, I think you're going to see guys like Schreiber, Lynch, other guys are going to get opportunities too.
If it is lefties, who do we think gets the actual closing chance? Is it Lynch or will he go Strom? Because
I think Strom will probably get first crack there.
I think
I don't agree with it, but I think that's the way it'll go.
No, I think we're on the same page. I think we all agree Lynch should, but probably Strom would.
I think that's a good way of phrasing it. Because I agree with that.
I do think there is there is a value in, or what they value is the closing out 9th innings, like the experience of doing that, because those 3 outs are different. Like the leverage is different. It's not that Daniel Lynch can't. It's just that there are multiple guys in the bullpen that have done it before.
No, I get
that. I think that's more what it boils down to. Again, whether you agree with that or not, I think that is fair enough.
Because if you can't get, he can never do it unless you give him a chance.
Right.
So,
but then if he blows it, does he just suck now all of a sudden, and then you can't trust him there either?
No,
like I guess
that's unfair. I mean, they give Ursig ample chances.
No, I agree. I wasn't necessarily speaking for you. I was speaking for the folks that say Daniel Lynch. Maybe listeners that are like, "Oh, Daniel Lynch needs to get the 9th inning. And then he goes out in the 9th inning, he blows a game. Does now he all of a sudden suck and he can't do it? Like, I just want to see the consistent logic there. That's all.
And Ursig has been able to bounce back from and pitch in other situations.
Correct.
So hopefully it would be the same, and hopefully you don't have to worry about it. That Daniel Lynch goes out and takes care of business in the 9th, and then the next go around it's Alex Lang. Or you trust Alex Lang so much that in the 8th inning you got to have strikeouts to get out of it, and you bring in Alex Lang, and now you got to go with Ursig in this particular matchup, or Strom, or whatever it might be.
Schreiber has pitched well recently too.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of having or riding the hot hand.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily have to be by committee where you go, well, every single night it's going to be somebody different based on matchup, but it can be committee as in, well, Alex Lang is feeling it, and he is filled with confidence right now because his stuff is moving all over the place, and he's throwing it at what seems like more in the strike zone and allowing his stuff to do the work or strike to ball. You know, a couple of those swings yesterday by the Twins were just way over the top. Like, all right, here comes a fastball I'm swinging. Okay, that's in the dirt. Like, that thing moves so much, I did not expect the pitch shape to look like that, even though you probably should because you got a scout on Alex Lang. Right now, filled with confidence that I'm going to throw a strike to ball here, or even if I leave it around there, they're not going to get full contact on it. Okay, I'll go with him for the time being in those matchups. But when he starts getting hit around, I better be quick with the eject
Correct.
button.
Yes, that needs to be the way. Like, I agree with you. I think they need to ride the hot hand right now. And if he had 2 saves and then in the middle was a blown one, then you're like, okay, then maybe we need to change this here. But he got it done
right.
3 straight times when they really needed these games. So I think they're going to keep riding that for now, and they should.
And I do wonder, Joel, how much was riding Urseg game after game when it was a 50-50 proposition and he wasn't pitching to the degree and he didn't look like he was a confident player. How much was it that Q just lacked what he felt like was a viable option in the 9th inning?
Yeah, I think that was a huge part of it. I mean, even though Lang has pitched well for about a month, he hadn't gone anywhere near high leverage in almost any scenario until basically that first game against her. I think the highest leverage may have been when it was a 1-run game against the Angels, the crazy comeback game.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like the only time, and in that game he still gave up a run and went from a 1-run game to a 2-run game. So, yeah, I think it was one of those where it was the best of a bunch of bad options, and it still may end up being that for Alex Lang, but at least for right now he's getting the job done, so I'm not going to parse it too much of trying to mix and match too much. I think he's got the job done. Can I bring up one more thing from the game on Saturday?
Please.
No, we're actually-
Nope, sorry. We'll let you go.
Sorry,
Thanks, Joel. Bye-bye.
Okay, no.
No.
But one thing I noticed as well, and I'm so glad Rex Helder brought it up on the broadcast, Carter Jensen saved Alex Lang's bacon multiple times blocking the ball. And I know we had conversations a few weeks ago about should Carter Jensen even be catching anymore. This is why you don't punt on the 22-year-old learning the toughest position and the demands of it at the big league level, because that showed a vast improvement from even a couple of weeks ago to get his chest struck down and block the ball. He saved probably 3 spiked breaking balls that in other situations it's a tie game or close to it. And I thought that just showed a massive improvement from him, and credit to the coaching staff for working with him on that. That to me is the most easily coachable skill of catching. Because receiving, that was one of the things MJ Melendez really struggled with, and it's a big reason why they moved him to the outfield.
Yeah.
Ejecto Cito that same season. But he has a great ability to frame, receive the ball, throw. It's just a matter of being able to get in front of the ball with more regularity, and there is a little bit of a trade-off with that, with the one knee down stuff to frame and all that. But
There's a lot of that. I think that it is the
trade-off.
It's the trade-off, yeah.
But he certainly has shown a legitimate improvement there, and I thought that he deserves credit for that.
Go ahead.
And I was going to say, and by the way, you have to have someone you trust back there, because Alex Lang, as we've mentioned, he is wild.
Yes.
He will spike some balls. He will walk a lot of guys. Even in 23, when he was great as a closer for Detroit, he walked a lot of guys.
Yes,
he's never going to be a guy that
effectively wild.
Yes, it's not Wade Davis. It's not Mason Miller. This is going to be a little bit of last year almost with Estevez, where it's like, hey, buckle up a little bit here. It's not going to be the cleanest, but can you continuously get it done? And so far, Lang has. That's why you go back to him. It's why for the longest time, I think I eventually had a tweet at some point where I jumped off the Lang train. But at one point, I remember talking early on when people wanted him gone and saying, hey, but he has strikeout stuff that almost no one else in this bullpen has. Almost make him your Eli Morgan, make him your Mason Black, make him your the lowest leverage spot until he figures it out. He's figured it out, and now we're seeing the results. I will give him at least a little credit, the Royals, I should say, for sticking with him.
Yes.
Because when 99% of people wanted him gone, the Royals said, we at least see something. This is where the analytics can help you, right? We can talk all we want about it, but the underlying metrics of the strikeout percentage, the whiff percentage, the chase percentage was pretty good for Alex, so it was a little matter of, can he figure it out and get on a roll? Well, now he's on that roll. The issue I have is Ursig has not been on that. The analytics somewhat hate Lucas. They love Daniel Lynch, and we never saw that trade-off. So, again, it does seem a little picking and choosing when it comes to relievers, but overall, I'm glad they stuck with Lang.
Well, and there's also, the part of maybe the last 3 outs do something different for Lang. Or the last 3 outs do something different for others.
Sure.
Like Monty talked about that not when you have a closer that comes in a non-safe situation, there isn't the sense of urgency, there isn't the adrenaline. Everything should be the same in theory, but you are human.
It's very, very different for a lot of guys.
And the year that he was the primary closer for Detroit, he had 4 blown saves that year. And in the blown saves, he was bad. He was really bad in those blown saves. He was giving up 3 runs, 2 runs, not recording an out. But then when he did record the save, he was dominant with a 400 OPS against.
Yeah.
So it was for the most part, he was really dominant in the ninth inning, saving games, and then he would get blown up one every, 26 saves with 4 blown saves. So one every 5 or 6 saves opportunities, he'd get blown up. But other than that, he came in and he was pretty damn good in the save opportunities that he ended up having for the Tigers that year.
Yeah, and it was the game on April 20th that they end up losing in 12 innings to the Orioles. He gives up 4 earned runs, and he got nothing.
Yeah.
ERA got up to 8.38. At that point, I'm like, okay,
DFA.
it's a $1 million contract. It's a rounding error.
Yeah.
Just
What are we
cut
doing
bait.
here?
Since then, 1.86 ERA, and has really turned it around since then.
Yeah, so if I go through the game log, blown save, 1 inning, he gave up an earned run, 2 hits and a walk. Save, 1 inning, 3 strikeouts. Save number 2, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. Save number 3, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. Save number 4, 1 inning, 1 strikeout. Save 5, 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Save 6, 1 inning, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Save 7, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. Save 8, 1 1/3, 2 strikeouts. 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, blown save, 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 earned runs, save, 1 inning, 3 strikeouts, save, 1 1/3, 4 strikeouts.
But see, the point remains.
So, okay.
You should get someone up just in case, because when he does not have it,
Yeah.
he does not have it.
Blown save, 1 inning, 1 hit, 3 walks.
See, the walks.
The games this week, especially I think it was the Wednesday and the game on Saturday, reminded me of some 2013 Greg Holland.
Yeah.
Where it's he's going to let up some traffic, and it's going to get a little dicey, but he's going to get the strikeouts when he needs it, and he's going to get you out of the game.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of that. I know that.
But those other saves that he was coming through, it was just dominant.
Yeah.
So it's something you could talk about. If he comes in and he's wild and he walks the first guy, boom, somebody up in the bullpen.
Yes.
He may not have it this game. We're not going to go, well, it's his game. We win or lose with him there. No, if he comes out and he's throwing BBs and guys are swinging over the top, he's good. He's gonna find a way to get through this, because we've seen it before that in the ninth when he's on full of confidence, his stuff is crazy. But those games that he blew the save, he got hit around. It wasn't a random 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, nobody on, and then catcher's interference on a strike 3 that put the guy at first, and then he hung one and it's a 2-run home run and you lost. It's a walk, a hit, a walk, a strikeout, a walk, and then a double.
Yeah.
And so it's a good point about, have somebody up ready to go with Alex Lang. But if he doesn't come through a couple of times, then bring somebody else in. You feel good about Noah Cameron moving forward with what we've seen the last 5 starts?
Yeah, I think it's a 27-3 strikeout to walk ratio in his last 4 starts. He's been awesome. He's working. He looks much more like the guy that we saw last season, where he's commanding the ball to all 4 quadrants of the zone. He feels confident throwing his fastball in the zone. He's almost ditched the slider that we talked about months ago, how terrible that pitch has been for him this year. He's hardly using it now, where it's just kind of a show me sort of pitch that he's able to tunnel with the cutter and the fastball. And he's been great, and it makes you feel a little more comfortable if it gets to the point where you're trading Waka or you're trading Lugo. You're losing 2 veterans in your rotation, but Noah Cameron looks the part again. Stephen Kolek has looked the part. Luinder Avila, the stuff is really good. He's going to get a longer tryout now in the rotation potentially as we go forward.
5 innings of 1 or 2 runs. I mean, sign me up every time if he's got to go out there and do that.
Absolutely. He's kind of proven me wrong a little bit that I think he's just totally a bullpen arm, and he still may eventually be that. Got to rein in the command a little bit, but the stuff certainly plays at the big league level.
Any concern from 1 to 10? Bobby's knee soreness.
3.5.
I was going to say Q sort of poo-pooed it and was like, oh, no, but he just felt it in that long at bat. And
Bobby said it too. He's like, I was hoping just to get to the off day and let it rest. And some of these athletes are just superhuman. And I know that Patrick Holmes obviously works with Bobby Stroop. So does Bobby Witt Jr. So maybe they just, his ligaments are all just corded steel and he's going to be fine. And he's going to come out tomorrow and rip 3 for 4 with 2 stolen bases, and we're like, oh, he's fine.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked by that either.
I wouldn't either, but you do worry about, okay, now it's the crucial stretch where they have to show, and you got the thumb with Salvi, you got the shoulder with Jack, you've got the knee with Bobby, you got the hamstring with Michael.
No one in this league, they will lie to you and say, oh, I'm feeling great. We're almost 70 games into this thing. No one is 100%. It's just showing more for the Royals because they desperately need to win. And 3 of their 4 or 5 best players are all a little banged up right now.
Honestly, I think the 2 most shocking things this year for me for the Royals is how bad they've been after looking at the division and thinking that they could win the division.
Correct.
And also, Michael Garcia didn't miss much time after hopping to third.
Yeah.
I thought it was 6 weeks. He's
Yes,
out sick.
absolutely.
Saw him hopping to third. I'm like, that's a grade 2 or grade 3. This is one that we'll be checking in. And, he's doing light jogging 3 weeks from now, doing some of those other things. And we'll see you late July, Michael, is when we'll see you again. That's really what I'm like, that
Absolutely.
sucks.
I thought
It's the
same
final
thing.
blow. It's the final blow. Stop the fight. Referees in the corner. The Royals are getting pummeled. Stop the fight. Michael hobbling the third. It's over. But good for him. And also, Joel, I don't need him running hard to first anymore.
No, I think we're
Not
fine.
right now.
Yeah, not right now.
Not right now. Jog to first. You're good. Fully healthy. I need you to bust it just in case. Right now, protect the hamstring. You're more valuable, than that one particular out. So I'm good with, for the time being, him taking some time off and not pushing it.
I wouldn't be shocked though if Bobby DHs tomorrow,
That's a
and
good
like
point, yeah.
Michael moves to short. He got Lofton at third, who's actually been fine over the last week when he hit the big home run in Cincinnati for the insurance. And he's actually really good with runners in scoring position. I think he's at like 440 with runners in scoring position, something like that.
He is a horrible. No one on it. Nick Lofton. Don't expect anything.
Runner on second with 2 outs, baby. He's driving that guy in.
Coming through.
Yeah. Bobby's not going to want to miss a game.
He's not, but I think I bet he DHs maybe for a game or two against the Rangers. I do worry. The counter to that is worrying about Michael having to range a little bit at
it's a good
shortstop
point.
with the hamstring.
Good point.
But I think
Just go get Nicky Lopez.
Yeah,
Come on, what's he doing? What's Nicky possibly doing right now?
Nicky Lopez turned into Barry Bonds against the Royals last
What
week.
could he? Nicky Lopez and Cody Clemens, just continuing to destroy the Royals.
Can
And TJ
Rojas
France.
play shortstop? I'm trying to think if he ever played shortstop.
He probably could, but I don't think he'd be good.
Oh, I'm not saying it'd be ideal.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but
You
if
could put him at third if there's a righty on the mound. You probably could because I think
he's
it'll
played
be-
much short.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
No.
Lofton, Massey, Tolbert. I mean,
Yeah,
Tolbert might be the fastest and the rangiest, but doesn't mean he's going to field everything.
I haven't seen it short. He hasn't played short since 21.
Yeah. So he probably plays third. Lofton comes in later for him to pinch hit with the platoon.
But if
in
we
that
are
situation.
saying, I think you probably do put Garcia still at short.
100%.
Probably.
Yep, I think that's
even
how
with
they
the
would do it.
hammy, I still think yeah. There's not really another option in the roster if Bobby is going to DH.
Joel Penfield. All right, Joel, what do you think this homestand is? It's 6 games, 3 against the Rangers, 3 against Houston.
I'll say 3-3 just to be conservative. It feels about right. You win one series, lose the other, but that's kind of about winning, and you'll still end up being around 12 games below 500 at that point still, which is kind of where I think this team is at. But who knows? Maybe if they're able to continue to stack things and you go 4-2, you feel a little bit better about where you're at and see where you're at.
Well, it's a screwy baseball season when
Exactly.
you got Valdi versus Kolick tomorrow night, and it's like Royals got a pitching matchup favorable. Royals got a favorable matchup. They got Kolick on the mat against Evaldi.
It's not Waka.
Right.
It's Stephen Kolick.
Against Nathan Evaldi. I feel good about that pitching matchup for the Royals. That's pretty nice they've got in their favor. Really? Kolick against Evaldi? All right, well, we'll see. He's had his struggles this year. Evaldi has.
Yeah.
He's been up and down, and he's gotten hit around. He's got a 4+ ERA, but it's come down a little bit.
And
so we'll
second
see.
look at Gore and Rocker within about 10 days.
Good point.
So you'll get a second look there at those guys.
We'll see. Joel, you're the man. Appreciate it as always, brother. Enjoy the baseball.
Thank you very much.
We will talk next Monday. The Royals will be on a road trip when that is taking place after these 6 games that they're playing at home against the Rangers and the Astros. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. I do want to talk about Game 3 with the Knicks and San Antonio tonight because, look, it's pivotal. It's a pivotal Game 3. We'll talk about that. We'll hear from Landry Shamet weighing in on what in the hell happened from down 2-1 against the Hawks to winning 13 games in a row in the playoffs. We'll talk a little bit about that. And mandatory minicamp for the Chiefs coming up tomorrow through Thursday. An old friend alert visiting and what to do at a position with a player that is only coming into his second year, that it's already a pretty crucial offseason. We'll talk about that coming up as well. Mick Schaefer, 1 o'clock. More Zone next. Well, we are just a few days away from the world's biggest soccer tournament arriving, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. And on Kalshi, you can trade every match from opening stage all the way to the final. We got a couple of matches here in Kansas City that have some heavy, heavy favorites, with Argentina against Algeria, Ecuador against Curacao, some heavy favorites in that particular game. If you want to throw a dart in the market and trade on the, the underdogs in those particular matches, there's some money that can be won along the way. Or you feel like, you know what, let's play it safe. Let me go ahead and play and trade with Argentina. That's trading right now. It's almost 10% to win the whole thing. But also, you can go ahead and play that in that particular match. And now you're talking about $100, can bring back $150, something like that along the way, and make a little money, and Argentina wins that game. You expect that to take place. Or maybe just look down the road with some other matches that aren't necessarily in Kansas City, or maybe the NBA tonight. San Antonio trading at 47%. A not must-win, but a can't-lose game for San Antonio. Expected New York to win, trading at 53%. A big one there. So a lot of different things you can do. A market for almost anything at Kalshi, and you're trading against peers in a live market. There's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. If I buy in at 47% with the Spurs, trading at 47% with that, maybe 6 o'clock, all of a sudden they're trading at 60 or 70%. I can trade out and make a little bit of profit along the way. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code JASON810, that's JASON810, to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, 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 trade the beautiful game.
18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
maybe Sterling's favorite song. I'm not sure. He just likes to listen to it when we come back from break. It's just like, shut up, everybody. Let it breathe a little bit.
Let it breathe a little bit.
Let this song breathe a little bit, folks.
I honestly just think of Mick and Me. We always just mess around in this
Mick
song.
and Me, what a great
It's a good movie, too.
sitcom that you guys were. Buddy cop movie.
Yeah, it didn't get picked up for a second season. I'm shocked by it. Quite frankly, it was Mick's choice. The company, NBC, said, "Hey, Universal, we want a second season." Mick says, "I don't want to work with that guy anymore." That's actually what happened. They said, "We'll pay you double," and Mick still said, "I'm not working with Sterling anymore." That's what actually happened with Mick and Me. Yeah.
Not worth it. News out of the Chiefs came down earlier this hour. We were talking baseball with Joel Penfield, but first-round pick Peter Woods and the Chiefs reached an agreement today on a 4-year, $18 million fully guaranteed deal per his agent. Woods, this is from Adam Schefter, is said to have received the highest upfront percentage of his signing bonus in Chiefs' first-round history. So Peter Woods is signed, sealed, delivered, 4 years, $18 million, fully guaranteed for the new defensive tackle. The reaction and some of the replies to Adam Schefter really miss the point on what the importance of the structure is for the Chiefs. So here's some of the reactions there. Agents are cooking this rookie class. Chiefs are negotiating like, yeah, we love you, but, we'll give you more money up front. Let's see. Highest upfront percentage in Chiefs' first-round history is the headline, not the $18 million. Front offices don't break their own structural precedent unless the agent walked them to it. Tells you exactly how the leverage broke during this negotiation in Peter Woods' favor. He's supposed to be Jones' replacement, so he's got time. Peter Woods is breathing a sigh of relief. Highest upfront signing bonus percentage in Chiefs history. That's not just a contract, it's a vote of confidence.
Oh, that's an AI account. You can tell it's AI when it says it's not this, it's this.
Really?
Yeah. No, you can.
Yes. Let's see. Signing Peter Woods to this contract shows all the faith that they have in Peter Woods. Peter Woods, the upfront signing bonus, that's a vote of confidence. Upfront signing bonus, better be ready to play right now. So seeing these bots, as you say.
Correct.
Or AI in the reaction.
About half of them.
Yeah. The story here, it's not the 18 fully guaranteed. The story is the upfront percentage of his signing bonus, but not that it instills confidence in Peter Woods. They gave him fully guaranteed money. He's going to get the money regardless.
That's first round, yeah.
But the upfront signing bonus means we give ourselves leverage with the cap space this year.
Correct.
We can take, instead of taking a bigger cap hit this year for Peter Woods, if we give him a lot of that money in a signing bonus up front, now we can move that money down the road and we don't take a bigger cap hit this year. Maybe they might have to take a bigger cap hit for Mansour Delane. Who knows?
Sure.
Or a bigger cap hit for others. I'm not sure.
I'll give Clark Hunt a little credit here for doing this right.
You got to pay. You got to write the check in cash this year for you to do this, for you to give some space in the salary cap to be able to do some other things that you may seem or deem necessary to do before you get the wide receiver. Wide receiver, Cam Jordan, not Juju. So now I have to mark Juju off the Chiefs.
Don't you send a damn sixth rounder for Juju. I will be beside myself.
Imagine them doing that. The only thing that would have been worse is if,
It was a fifth?
Well, that's, yes, right. I was thinking of the Noddy and Pennell. You release Pennell to trade for Noddy, and then you get Pennell back, and then he plays over Noddy. Like, what are we doing here? I didn't fully mark Juju off of my roster for the Chiefs. I marked it in pencil.
Sure.
I marked through it in pencil.
Sure.
Because the season hasn't started yet, and he hasn't been cut by the Giants to sign with the Chiefs, just as he was cut by the Patriots and signed with the Chiefs when he returned a couple of years ago.
Well, honestly, this semi-needed to happen based on the Chiefs' salary cap as is right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure Veach went to Clark and said, "Hey, man," I'm sure he said like that too. "Hey, man. Hey, boss. We're going to need you to write a little fatter check right now up front. It's going to help us out." And he should do it because the Chiefs aren't necessarily the most cash friendly in this regard a lot of times, even with the success they have had. But this is a good sign, I think, at least to an extent. It has nothing to do with Peter Woods. Like I think that's where those people, or the AI, or the bots, or even just people in drill miss the equation.
It shows how much they believe in him. They're giving him this much money up front.
It doesn't matter. It's a first-round draft. He's going to see
He's getting guaranteed dollars.
It'll be seen either way. It does not matter for Peter Wood's sake. It is nice that he gets it up front because maybe you can now put it in a Roth IRA and let it accrue some extra interest.
Hey, a dollar today is more valuable than a dollar tomorrow.
So maybe if you want to say it from that instance, the agent is probably happy because the agent probably gets a higher percentage up front too.
Oh, but the agent totally dog walked the Chiefs here.
Totally. But at the end of the day, it's also good for KC.
So stupid.
Like everyone wins.
Yes.
This is sports or leisure. Everyone wins.
Yes. The story is giving yourself cap flexibility by giving the upfront money. Clark Hunt spending more cash to free yourself with cap flexibility.
Correct.
It is a little bit of either it's giving yourself the flexibility to do something, and if you don't do it, you can roll that money over next year anyway. But if you have to do it, then you've got the space to be able to do that without maybe going into as much restructuring of a Trey Smith or a Creed Humphrey. If you can not touch both of those, maybe one of them, maybe some other ways that you structure the contracts with the Mansour Delane, we'll see what that is. Maybe it's a lot of upfront cash for him too that Clark Hunt's saying, okay, let's do it.
I will say this.
Got to write the check eventually.
Real quick, I have always wondered when you do a lot upfront in a signing bonus.
Mm-hmm.
For example, he's a first-round guy. Let's say he plays really well. Mm-hmm. About by going into year 4 is when he's going to start having those serious conversations. At that point, a lot of his money's already handed to him. I always think it's a little difficult for guys to then – it shouldn't be this way. But they're going to say, well, hey, I need that contract restructured. I've already seen most of that money. I don't want to get just paid $2.5 million, which, hey, I'll take it.
It would be viewed as an extension, though. So
yes,
it'd be you've got this through 4 years.
You'd extend it, but
it's your money. You were getting 18 guaranteed. You'll get your 18 guaranteed.
This is when but I always wonder,
Yeah.
is this when holdouts start going a little earlier?
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't, and maybe I'm completely wrong, and the Chiefs can still say,
maybe I'm off my rocker here.
We got the fifth round option on you because you are a first rounder. So hey, do what you want. We still got you if for the extra year. But I've always wondered when you give a lot of these large signing bonuses up front, does it trickle down into earlier holdouts or hold-ins, if you will, for the extension? I've not done that research. I don't know how someone goes about doing that. Okay, Curtis?
Yeah, right.
Curtis!
Why? What does he have to do between now and 2? He doesn't even, you don't even work until 2 o'clock. Oh my God, like, you do sport, like, so your job is 10 to 2? So what, you like get to work at 9:55 and you get out of there at 2:10? I'm like, no, I'm not Sterling. No,
hey!
I get to work at like 7 o'clock, 7:30.
Oh, erroneous. Shots fired.
Get some coffee. If I wait till after 8 to get some coffee. Some people have a tendency not to make the new pot of coffee.
There's a coffee bandit. Someone finally made more.
What?
Finally. There's a coffee bandit leaving just small traces amount of coffee.
Let me just say this. When it's before 8 o'clock and I go and get coffee, that coffee is either full or refilled, or there's a couple of pots, one on the warmer, one that's there in the actual. Gabe.
Oh, Gabe, yeah.
Gabe,
Robert might be rocking it too.
I have walked in on 2 different people refilling the coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if you sat. There's a chair in there. If you just sat there.
Multiple people I've walked in on in the middle of them refilling the coffee. So I eliminate them as the culprits to, oh, I didn't take the last of the coffee. There's a sip and a half.
Yeah. No, that's honestly almost worse.
There's some etiquette at an office.
Correct.
Like you don't have buffalo sauce and broccoli.
Who would do that?
You don't have fish or eggs.
Okay, I don't have those. Come on now. Don't.
And you don't not refill and make the new pot of coffee when you take the last of it. And don't you dare say, ooh, that sip, there was I could see through there was so little left, I could read a book on the other side of that. That's how little the coffee was
and
left.
That's happened
absurd.
Twice today.
Twice today!
I wonder if it's the same person.
And it only happens after 8 o'clock. Who gets here after 8 o'clock? I'm not sure. We'll take a timeout. More Zone next. I will continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Mick Schaefer, KSHB 41 Sports Director, presented by Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Hello, Mick.
Sup? How was Disney? Did you bring us back some Mickey Mouse ears to wear?
You know, I didn't. I should
got my own
have.
Mickey ears. I bring them
right.
everywhere.
Yep, I got these cans we're wearing. The headphones that kind of look like Mickey Mouse ears a little bit.
Love it when people bring me cans.
That's exactly right. Cans of a beer, beans, soda.
Big can guy, Mick Schaefer.
Big can guy.
That's right. Well,
Cans in my hands.
You know what? The Mizzou and SLU matchup is no longer in the can. They have brought that rivalry back. Mizzou and SLU have agreed to a 3-year contract to play in December.
This is basketball?
In St. Louis in
Are they gonna
basketball.
play?
And football, I don't think it's good for SLU to play that.
There's going to be another non-con game that Mizzou's going to play at a neutral site because they got 2 in Kansas City this year.
Yep, all 3
I
of
imagine
those.
they're still playing Illinois, right, in St. Louis.
All 3 of those games will be in St. Louis. So there's not a home and then a neutral
Will they have
site.
any games in Columbia?
I don't think they're going to play any games in Columbia this year.
They got 2 with in 6 or 7 days here in KC because they got Nebraska.
Yep.
As well as KU.
Yep. November 6th this year is the game scheduled.
That's be the earliest one, right? The first game.
SLU in at Enterprise Center in St. Louis. So they will be.
They'll pick you up.
Great
exactly right.
Great logo, by the way. I think the Billiken logo.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an all-timer.
It is a really
very
good-
unique and just a good
What
one.
is it
Yes.
though? What is it's kind of like a goblin-looking thing.
It is. I don't even know what it is. Do you know?
Troll?
Sure.
Gnome?
Goblin-looking gnome thing.
Is it a great mascot? We have no idea what it is.
I'm gonna look up on this Google machine.
Yeah.
If only we could find out.
It's a billiken, but I don't know what a billiken is.
Jesus.
Wow.
Will you please mark that?
It's a Billiken.
I was not locked in.
It's in St. Louis, I learned.
Oh my God. Billiken is a mythical, elfish, good luck figure.
Love it.
Okay, so
Created-
it's become a goblin.
Created in 1908 by Missouri art teacher Florence Pretz, known as the God of Things as They Ought to Be.
Listen, it would have been bad for the most part living in the early 20th century. But the one good part was everybody just came up with all these schools' nicknames randomly. From a newspaper article, from some professor, from
from
some
the way
your
it
5-year-old said.
From the way it ought
The
to be.
Billiken is known as the God of Things as They Ought to Be.
Well, I'm for it.
I learned.
Yeah.
Today I learned that.
That's unbelievable.
The way things ought to be.
Make sure there's not some connotation there from
Hey,
early
Not a boy
1900s.
named Gary anymore,
There's
huh?
not,
He
no.
would have.
No.
That was a song of the trip, by the way.
It's a great song.
Get all the boys on that one. That was a
Yeah,
nice little
great song.
Yeah.
12 minutes.
I said on the news last night
Did you?
because the Monarchs played Gary South Shore Railcats. I'm like, not a lot of teams named Gary anymore.
Do we make any Garys anymore? I don't think we
so.
make Garys anymore. Gary.
Gary
on the
Lezak
kick-
left. That's the last
on
one
the
I
kick
know.
drum, Gary. Come on the kick drum, Gary. And Gary on the kick drum, Gary.
There's a Gary Brower who works at KSHB. He listens
There you
all
go.
the time. I'll shout out that Gary.
So the patent was claimed in 1908 for Florence Pretz for the Billiken. In the 1910s, local sports writers began comparing SLU's football coach John Bender to the chubby,
like him.
grinning Billiken.
and then that
The
just sticks.
nickname stuck.
Yeah.
It's been the face of SLU athletics ever since.
Yeah, literally a face.
That's
I
how they came
love
up
the
with
history of all these, like the Maryville Spoof Hound. I
Yes, the
love.
Spoof Hound, right,
That's
yes.
my favorite mascot of all time.
Yes.
It's like a Scooby-Doo looking dog.
Yes.
That's what we're going to do
like
for our
the-
high school. Bam! Set it forth the next 1,000 years.
Like the Lee Summit West third best. Like just randomly come up with these different mascot names.
Well, I've covered a lot of other sports. Usually they're not.
Okay, cool. Alex Lang is doing well. Great. Name anything else they have.
Monte Harrison.
Name another
Shaq
thing.
Harris.
Name anything else they have.
And they can't be.
Okay.
They can't be
Sam
brothers.
Bodie that
You-
came
you-
through
they can't
there.
Evan Bain.
those are the
Name
ones.
anything else they have. Come on,
State
people.
championship football trophies.
Name another thing that they have.
Brand new school looks like a spaceship.
And anything else. That's all you can. That's all you can come up with a name.
That is
The QT really
unfortunate
close to
because
that school too.
Okay, you got me. All right,
that's
now I'm in. Now I'm on board. Second best.
Mick would have been really good. I almost feel bad because in the 1900s, like the earlies or like late 1800s,
Sure,
you'd have come up with so many names. Like you would have been,
it would have been a great job.
But you also
And there would have been a lot less tigers and bulldogs and wildcats.
you might not have lived any longer because you'd be like what are you, 47?
I'd be 5'6". Everybody was short back then. I'd be your height.
Yeah. 5'10", dog.
Well, what people don't realize is the Missouri
Tall
Tigers were not named after traditional tigers. No, it was
But
just
the Jayhawks were after birds.
A traditional bird.
Yeah.
Traditional.
No, the Missouri Tigers famously became known as the Missouri Tigers because their football coach would walk around and go, "What's up, Tiger?" They were just the Missouri Showme's.
I thought they were like Frosted Flakes.
Nope, just
Tony the Tiger.
They were the Missouri Showme's and didn't have a mascot, but the football coach was like, "What's up, Tiger?
What's up, Tiger?
Hey, double guns. What's
It
up,
really
Tiger?"
was luck of the draw. You
The
either
Fighting Tigers over here.
you either created something and you're famous and memorable from that time frame, or you died at age 30 from dysentery. There was like not much
Broken leg killed him.
in between. You pop an ACL back then, you're
They didn't know what that was.
your Achilles. You're like, oh man, I'm done for. Leave me here.
This guy's going to have Johnny Tom surgery. Don't even know what that is. Guy hasn't been born yet. It's
My
going to be a
arm-
different name.
My
Completely
arm
different
hurts. Well,
name.
now your back's gonna hurt because you just landed a landscaping duty.
Because now you got to go and fix the wheel on her carriage.
You know, in like 100 years, they're gonna be laughing at us. We didn't know like a certain particle in the body. Oh my God, that cures all disease, and they could have lived forever. Those idiots back in 2026 had no idea.
Remember when it gallbladders? And those were actually the key.
Remember when an ACL took 9 months, idiots? Now it's an outpatient surgery. It's a little cleanup. You're back in a week, dummies. Oh, gosh. I can't imagine living in the 2020s.
That's probably going to be true, by the way.
Can you imagine living in the 2020s and not living to 130? Yeah. Can you imagine, like, 75 and 80 is a long life. Oh, my goodness, man. This guy lived to the ripe old age of 80. You're just hitting your prime now in your 80s.
All this is going to happen.
LeBron
eventually.
is somehow still playing.
Yes.
Broncos
He's
fans
still
are
on the first page of all of his books.
Broncos fans are now on their 100th year claiming they now own the AFC West division, and English soccer fans are complaining about what country is hosting the World Cup.
God,
It
how
is-
predictable and just so.
It's 73
dumb.
degrees. How can they live?
It's so hot. So hot. The violence.
They hate all the CVSs we have here with hygiene products.
Should never have given them
They see all these
that.
dentist places. They go, what are those?
Wait, what?
I cannot believe
Dental.
that country was awarded the World Cup in 2010 South Africa. The fact that 2014 Brazil was given the World Cup, it's a travesty. 2018 Russia should never have been given the World Cup.
So-
This is absurd.
So they've been complaining every 4 years.
Every 4 years, it's about the
But it's got
violence in that
to be
country.
heightened this time around.
Well, yeah,
with the
I mean,
U.S.
Oh, my
kicking
God,
ass and catching bass, they have no chance. I mean, what do they want?
Well, yeah, when you have a headline that says 9 people shot near the training.
God. By the way, that headline could exist literally in every town hosting a World Cup, which is, look, not a
It
great
ain't
state
great.
for America. Don't like it, but I mean, come on. What are we
But it's
doing?
like, but it's also like you reply and respond to, "Hey, this has nothing to do with England's training or where they're
not even
staying
here."
But then you get the straw man of saying, "Look, this is 5 miles away," and go, "Oh, so it's okay." When did anybody? We're responding to the dumbass headline that says that it was near the training of England. That's what makes it a story for people to click on. Without that being the case, nobody would have cared anywhere in the world about 9 people, unfortunately, but and awful as it is, 9 people being shot in an unsanctioned or unlicensed bar at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 miles away from where they train and 5 miles away from where they're staying in another state across the state line. And you get these English, England fans are like, well, 5 miles, that seems pretty near. I'm like, oh, okay, so 5 miles can't be different neighborhoods, can't be different areas? Because if you're in Liverpool, Anfield Stadium, which is in
We
a
did
nice
some
little...
research on that. I saw that reply.
100%. Liverpool, Anfield Stadium is in a nice little...
Did you convert to kilometers? You did that?
Son of a gun, I didn't know how to do
They
that.
didn't register.
metro.
They don't know
They
what
don't
miles
know.
are.
They
So
don't know.
stupid, yeah.
Maybe
They know,
they think miles are like feet.
they know what
They're
is
longer.
They know what is Miles Teller. So they got. So hold on. There's only 5 body lengths of Miles Teller. That seems pretty near. But like you got downtown
6
arena
foot.
and you've got a neighborhood soccer stadium. It's 5 miles, but vastly different.
What irresponsible BS journalism by the Athletic, too.
Totally.
What are you doing? That's just sensational. I mean, just
It's incredibly sensationalized.
yeah, it's
to do that. It sucks that it
There's
happened.
a reason why people don't trust the media. It's crap like that.
Yeah, it sucks that it happened. And
I trust you, though.
And it sucks that also we're saying, hey, you know what, 9 people shot. The story here is that it's not close to England's training ground. Not, good God, there's another, incident that took place there, which is obviously...
Let's pull some headlines from New York over the weekend, where plenty of teams are playing. I think there's a couple teams staying there. And all the stuff that happened within 5 miles.
But also the humidity is pretty rough for English soccer players, so they're pretty pissed about that.
Just about everything.
Yes.
They always tell us every time you get on there, and they're like, it's a heat wave, and you do the Celsius to Fahrenheit, it's like 73, and they're like,
what's Celsius?
how is that a heat
Is that a
wave?
drink?
It is a drink, actually. But I'm like, how is this a heat wave? And they're like, well, you don't get it because the humidity. And then they come here, it's 83. It's not even hot yet in Kansas City. And they're all sitting here going, it's too hot, guys. It's too hot. It's 83 degrees here. It's balmy. I needed a jacket last night in Nebraska.
We met a family at Disney at the hotel pool that's from Wales, and they were talking about that. Like, it rains every day there, and we're here in Orlando, and they're going through a heat wave. So we got away to come here, and now it's a heat wave. And I said, well, what part of England is Wales in? Is that close to Manchester? Is it close to Liverpool? Or is it more south? Is that where the city of Wales is? Like, explain the location for me as an American.
They're whales. They live in the water.
Oh, my son called it, said the family that was from Dolphin. It's like, well, I knew it was something that lived in the water.
Yeah.
So, dolphin, whales, whatever it is.
That family from Manatee?
That's exactly right, yes. Which is a ride at SeaWorld, which I did not ride. So, shocker on that one.
Are you scared of rides too? I know you're scared of the outdoors. And
I am risk averse, very risk averse, but I did ride more rides this go around with little man, and Guardians of the Galaxy is freaking amazing and maybe the best roller coaster in the history of roller coasters.
Nice.
It was awesome, but I was not ever going to ride the SeaWorld Manatee because you are placed into the ride horizontal, and then you're just flying around like a manatee. Right, so you
Manatees don't fly, Jason.
You're swimming around like a manatee. It's supposed to.
Are you in water like you're getting waterboarded the whole time?
That'd be badass, but I don't want to be waterboarded. But the whole time, that seems like a completely different ride. I don't know why they would have that at Disney. It doesn't
crazy.
seem cool. But
go to Florida and like 80 miles south, like Cuba.
Yes.
Get waterboard.
But you can't see what's ahead of you because you're just looking down. So you're being taken like right, left, and up. I'm like, no. If I'm on a roller coaster, I like to see that I'm going to go right and then left. Like, it seems like that's a terrible.
Just get on with your kids.
I also think whoever's underneath is in a danger zone.
Did you see that ride?
Yes, I saw that.
It was like vertical.
Yes,
for 30 minutes.
30 minutes
sitting there.
And then they made it. They brought it back up level, and then they put it back down vertical, and then it went. Like, okay, cool, we're good. Now we're ready to go. Yeah. Now let's ride the rest of the way. Nope, that's nightmare fuel.
I'm a math guy on all that. I'm like, you know what? It's 99.999+%
Probably higher.
that I'm going to be fine. So I'm like, driving to the theme park.
It's more dangerous.
Dumb and Dumber, the whole when he's in the limo driving.
Yeah,
nervous flyer.
Yeah. What do you go in the airport for? Flying somewhere? What are you getting on the ride here? Ride a roller coaster? Huh? Yeah, that's right. But no, we had fun. But I met that family from Wales, and my God, they were complaining about England. No, I'm just joking. They were a very nice family, very nice family, and I loved their accents. My kids had a lot of fun with the accents.
The people from England on Twitter are going to be like the people from the U.S. on Twitter. Some of the worst people, right?
Oh. Yeah, it's just kind of Twitter.
Yes.
It's more of a Twitter thing.
Yes.
I'm actually thrilled that England is here. It's awesome. I'm thrilled that all the countries are here.
Yeah,
it's just fun to have a little ribbing, if you will. Again, that's sports. We like to have some rivalries, and it just so happens that we have rivalries with a country dating back 250 plus years, and it's the 250th anniversary.
Not quite 250 plus, but yeah, I guess we did deal with them more than 250 years ago. But
right,
yeah,
it would have been more.
Deal with them more, but then
they're going to be here right here.
250. Welcome
for our 250.
Welcome to
the UFC fight at least.
Yeah,
July 4th. Will they still be here? Well, we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Will we start the knockout rounds by then?
The British mind can't comprehend that. Imagine them doing that like on what's it?
What's that?
Westminster? What's it called? What's that?
No, Windminster. You got it right.
What's that huge thing?
Westminster?
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce. Imagine they did it on the lawn, like an MMA fight. The European mind cannot comprehend
They
that.
can't comprehend that.
Piccadilly Circus. Can't comprehend it. I looked that one up too.
What is that?
The Piccadilly Circus. It's kind of like Manhattan, where
That's
the
a
streets
deli,
sort
I
of
think.
come together and then veer off. But there's like two
Ben.
roads. Parliament. Yeah. Can't get left. Can't get left here. We did get to Epcot. We drove there. We didn't because we didn't stay on the in the resort, so we didn't take
They
like the.
still have the ride up
Skyline.
in the big Epcot ball. Do they
We
still have the big
didn't go in
Epcot
it.
ball?
We didn't go
Okay.
in it because last time we went in it, it stopped like 5 different times, and so we're just wasting time here.
Did you get the
It's a dumb
super
ride.
duper fast pass?
So we did get the premier fast pass at Epcot. And so now they change it every 2 years, so you never get used to what actually is happening because you can figure out how to game the system, and then they change it 2 years later, and it's like, oh, gotcha on this one. So you can pay for a premier fast pass, which gives you a fast pass to every ride, but you can only ride it once. Okay, that's fine. That's awesome. We went to Epcot. We were park hopping. So
I usually do that. I
Yeah.
usually don't ride.
right, went to Epcot. We had the fast pass, so we rope dropped at Epcot Guardians of the Galaxy.
What does that mean?
It means you get there like 30 minutes
Okay.
early and wait in line for the rope drop. So we only waited 30 minutes for that ride.
Terms
Disney-
here.
Disney
golly.
adult.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
They
get
go
on,
for him, not for the kids.
get on our hell yes. They're
dragging
the
the-
kids
they're
are tagging along. Come on, son, let's go. We got to run to get this one.
Dad, we're tired. We want to watch sports. Jason's just going here. No, we're going to rope drop this.
That's
Yes.
a 15-yard penalty in the NFL, rope drop tackle.
That's exactly right. But they didn't actually call it. It was just fined.
Yes, yes.
We actually got a letter this week of being fined for that rope drop. But we had the fast pass, but we rope dropped it, so we waited in line a half hour. Then we could go back whenever we want and fast pass it and boom, ride it again. So that's what we did. It was cool. So they've got that. Yeah, we used that. We didn't use it at Magic Kingdom because they wanted to charge you. I think your third child is what it costs to have the premier fast pass
have
there.
one of those
But,
yet.
You do though.
I do. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
welcome
would
to
you-
have her.
yes.
Would you do it? Would you?
Would you have traded
Would
it
that
to
worth
get
it?
onto any ride in the fast pass?
It depends on
Every
like
ride.
the year and like the week inside that year, maybe that day inside that week,
also
how
the
I'm
ride.
feeling and how she's
That's a
behaving.
good point
yeah.
because having the 3 days in Orlando, and they say which child do you love more? Well, I love them equally. Which child do you like more? Depends on the day.
Great question.
Depends on the day. Depends on the hour.
I rank them, and anytime my kids could tell you where they rank.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean,
It's a power ranking system. It's like
100%.
ESPN. You put it in each week. They get it. You send it to their email.
I love them the
and
same.
You say, hey, here's where you rank this week.
But the ranking
Moving
of
up.
who I like more,
Yeah.
that fluctuated a lot.
Do you like a
Throw my
paragraph?
wife in there too.
Oh,
Just like a paragraph.
100%.
A paragraph or two in there, like for doing the dishes, you've moved up 2 spots. Congratulations, you're now number 2.
Yeah.
You dropped the ball on this. You made me go pick you up somewhere from doing
Actually,
homework. And
You get it.
There was a time on Wednesday when we were there. I actually had 3 neighbor kids ranked above mine. So random kids. Just there was a kid right over in the other line. I'm like,
added to the power rankings.
number 1. That kid's number 1.
New kid.
Yes, that kid's number 1. That kid, I don't even know it. He's crying. Still number 2.
Somehow I made the list. I was very surprised.
Because you're a child at heart. It's your childlike temperament, Michael. You're just ignorance to the world. Let me ride any roller coaster. Life's fun. Nothing bad could ever happen. I don't need to be risk averse. It's all, what did Whit Merrifield say? It's all going to be strawberries and sunshine or something like that.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Sunshine and rainbows, that's
Yeah.
right. Something along those lines. So you think it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows? No, I don't think that. But it was for the most part that we were there. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Learned funniest and best from the weekend, hanging out with Mick Schaefer, presented by Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Walk. It's where we had a birthday party this last weekend for our third
What have you been there and you had one?
Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk in Orlando, where we went and rode a bunch of rides and went to a bunch of different shows, but we didn't have time to go to see Tom the Mime, which I really wanted to see the mime there at SeaWorld. So we just had to act like we were doing that, just like I acted like, I was happy my kids were there. More so next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. 1 o'clock hour here on this Monday. Hanging out with Mick Schaefer, KSHB 41 Sports Director, presented by Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Time for a little Learn Funniest and Best from the weekend. What we learned from the weekend, funniest from the weekend, and best from the weekend. I get to cheat because I had a 9-day weekend. So I learned a whole lot, but I'm only going to give you one. The rest I'm going to keep to myself because I don't think you guys have earned the right to learn the stuff that I've learned over the last 9 days. What I did learn, though, in all seriousness, is being at Magic Kingdom last week. One of our favorite rides is the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It is a phenomenal ride. But what I found out, guys, and what I learned is that, so while you're waiting in line, they have these different themes about the ride, right? And if you ride like the ride, It's a Small World, guess what you're going to hear the whole time? It's a small world, over and over. We don't ride that.
They still have the ghost ride where you're riding and the ghosts are there, the Haunted Mansion.
Patrick
or whatever.
Swayze.
Patrick Swayze. Ah,
Yes,
you make some
Unchained Melody,
clay,
and
yeah,
you make some
more
clay
there.
and everything. But what
the
I
Haunted Mansion. Do they have?
Oh yeah,
some?
Haunted
Okay,
Mansion.
yeah.
That's good. It's fun. I almost fell asleep because we finally got to sit down, and it was a dark place. I'm like, this is nice. But what I learned is waiting in line at the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I can't hear the Whistle While You Work song without thinking of the Yin Yang Twins.
Yeah.
And the Whistle While You Twerk, because I was singing that song in my head the whole time while everybody else was whistle while you work. And then there were words that you can't say after that.
With the Yin Yang Twins.
Right, it sounds
I
just
don't
like
even
them.
know that song.
Oh, I'll play it for you in the break. Okay. I'll play it for you in the break. You know, it's almost as bad as the Grease Lightning song. But not
Nothing as
nearly
bad as the Whisper song.
Not nearly as bad as that. But that's what I learned. If I hear Whistle While You Work, I sing the Yin Yang Twins version of that while waiting to ride a kid's ride at Disney. Happiest place on earth. Sterling, what'd you learn?
One of the happiest places on earth was Nebraska. I went for the golf trip, had a great time at the Harpo's Cup.
Is this the first day he's taken off this year?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable to me.
I mean, it's Iron Man, we call him.
Go ahead.
Found out, we asked on Saturday, it was really hot, no wind, a ton of wind, no clouds. These greens were rolling real quick. We were like, man, we can't keep anything on the greens. You're trying to hit a wedge in. Learned I played on 14 stimp greens. Found out they did a stimp meter on it, and rolling out of 14. We asked, like, well, what
Ice on a parking lot.
we asked, and they go, that is U.S. major speed greens. And I have a new appreciation of what the bleep are you supposed to do. We had a great time. It was phenomenal, but that was it was concrete.
Then you get a pro golfer that goes out there and goes, these greens are so slow.
So slow.
I mean, goodness gracious. You
can't
got to
get the ball
actually
to the
hit
hole.
it. You got to hit it if you want to actually get there. I mean,
Yeah,
good night.
not many
Actually,
putts were-
pros would actually be like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
for 14.
They were like, no balls were left short. That much was pretty much a guarantee. It was fun, beautiful, crazy, but 14 stimp greens. So now I can at least say I've done that.
Nice. Mick, what'd you learn?
So last night on Sound Off, we got on a tangent. We had a question of, and granted he's played here before, but is Messi the most famous athlete ever to have an extended period of stay in Kansas City?
Interesting.
So the guys brought up some great examples.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we had Blair and Matt and Seren on.
Who are all three more famous than Messi.
I didn't know Muhammad Ali had been here. I don't think he boxed here. But Michael Jordan played here early on against the Kings. And then...
But an extended stay, though.
yeah,
like
we didn't
Messi's
say
gonna be
extended.
here
We're
for
like,
a
just
m-
play.
He's going to
Yeah,
be here
just
for like
play.
a month.
The question was play.
Okay.
I didn't know that Lou Gehrig played his final professional game in Kansas City.
I did not
when he
realize
played
that
the AAA
either.
club.
I did not realize that
Kansas
either.
City. And
Wow,
that was his
wow.
last one. So anyway, we got on a tangent. Okay, is Messi the most famous person to ever be in Kansas City? We're like, Taylor Swift's been here.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, I assume, had played
Right.
Kansas City.
Michael Jordan's been here for an exhibition game. Trump's been here. U.S. presidents,
Yeah.
Barack Obama,
Yeah.
they're always. So
He hated
I
Arthur
learned
Bryant's.
right now the 10 currently most famous people in the world. Do you have a guess? Number one.
Currently,
Currently. And this is just one search, and it was the AI, what it spit out. But currently,
Is it Taylor Swift?
she is number 3.
Messi's
Let's
probably
see.
number 2.
Is Ronaldo one?
I was going to
He's
say
number
Ronaldo.
1.
Yeah, I was going to guess Ronaldo. You son of a gun. But
We got there. That's a pretty good guess.
Yeah, you got
there.
the top 3.
Yeah, we
You
nailed
got
it.
the top 2, and then Michael came in and saved you.
Got a guess?
Number 4.
LeBron James.
When you hear it, it'll make sense. LeBron's not in this top 10.
Okay, so it's going to be something like soccer.
Oh, so it's a BS top 10. Then I
Yeah.
see what it is.
Yes.
It'll be like Roger Federer or something like that.
It's not. I don't know if there's any more sports people.
Okay, so no more sports.
No sports ball people.
Oh, is it going to be like Bad Bunny or something
One
like
that's
that?
kind of sportsy. 4 is Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah. that
Oh,
makes sense.
okay. I wasn't thinking of.
5 is, I don't know, kind of sportsy. Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
Oh, The
somehow
Rock.
number 5.
Yeah.
They had Trump at like 9, Obama at 10, Beyonce in there, Bieber in there. Number 6 floored me.
Number 6 floored you. And it's
Mick
not a sports.
Schaefer.
It's not a sports ball player.
No, she's an actress. I think she's
Sydney Sweeney.
Jennifer Lawrence.
I think she's the 3rd most famous person on her hit show, which is on Netflix or something like that.
Is it Zendaya?
No,
That's a good one though. That's pretty good. I like that guess.
but I guess she's very big online and has some other products and stuff.
It's like David Hasselhoff, big in Germany.
Oh,
Maybe.
it's a Jenner.
Kylie Jenner.
She is in some of the searches I had, but it wasn't on this
It
one.
wasn't a Jenner. Another great
But
guess.
this girl keeps
Michael,
showing
you're
up on all
killing
the
it.
searches I do.
Michael's killing it with these guesses. I know they're not right, but better guesses than what I have.
Is it a
which has
Kardashian?
been-
Is it? Are we in the same ballpark?
No.
No, I think if he said Jenner, he probably would have been. No,
She's
it's not
on
Jenner, but
she's
it's,
on a Netflix show with 2 older guys.
Selena Gomez.
Yep.
I said it earlier. I said Selena.
Oh,
that's on Hulu.
show.
That's on Hulu.
Sorry.
Yep. No, you're good.
You said Selena.
I
I'm
said
sorry.
Selena earlier,
I didn't
yeah.
hear. Okay. Yeah.
No, you said actually
She's-
Selena, which is a different one.
Yeah.
She
We're
passed
not
away.
Selena.
R.I.P.
So you just
Selena
said
Gomez
Selena.
is different.
Yes. So yeah, that was.
I'm
like,
surprised
wow,
by
she's
that.
top
Yeah,
10?
that
What?
doesn't.
But that's whatever. That's just
That's
AI.
that's the connection.
Spit out for me.
But that's what Taylor Swift does for you.
Are they connected?
They're like best friends.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, so
Oh, I
you've
didn't know that.
yeah, like the besties for Taylor Swift are Selena Gomez and Miles Teller's
To me,
wife.
I would have put Martin Short and Steve Martin ahead of her. Like a cute score list. That's how old I am. Oh, have you not seen Three Amigos?
Hey, yeah, I'm with you. I would place her third.
So we learned that, and it could be
That's a
playing
learn.
1 versus 2, right? Because it could be Argentina and Portugal.
Yes, here.
One- So
Here.
so 1 and 2 could be playing each other in Kansas City.
Where number
real.
3 lives.
Where number 3 will probably be there, maybe. Wow. Possibly.
Well, when do they play? Because July 3rd apparently is the wedding in Madison Square Garden with Taylor and Travis. That came
Is
out
it that early?
Came out a couple of
Okay.
hours ago. TMZ reporting
Wow.
that July 3rd, Madison Square Garden, where their wedding will be held. So interesting for a wedding venue. We didn't visit it for our wedding venue. We didn't visit Madison Square Garden. It was in the running, but we just didn't. We loved ours so much we didn't get around to visiting Madison Square
Do you
Garden.
think Taylor
I don't
Swift-
want to get married in Madison Square Garden. I don't want to get married in a big old stadium.
Do you think Taylor
I was
Swift?
tossed aside.
If it wasn't for the damn Knicks, you could say first time somebody got a ring in Madison Square Garden, right? Stupid Knicks.
her parents
Stupid
still pay
Knicks.
for it. You're just like Taylor, like, hey, are you guys going to give us like a dowry? How's this work? You got to pay for
Her
this?
parents
Or-
still live in like a ranch house in Pennsylvania.
Donna and Ed are paying for the
Open bar. Scrap together.
They're paying for the rehearsal dinner. Sorry, and they
It's
send
gonna
out
have to be sandwiches, okay? I'm sorry.
send out the invite. Hey, it's you guys are gonna have to find a way to get here. All right, we can't help with travel at all. If you can get here, I know that flights are kind of expensive in New York around that time, but sorry, we can't help you on that one. What did you learn from the weekend, Michael?
So I learned a variety of things. I learned from Chiefs Facebook that Pacheco passed away.
Yes,
And
which by the way is
also-
not true.
Not true, not true. Also that Clark Hunt was going to be giving out $5 tickets for lower income families. Also not true. But I also learned that they're auctioning off the chair that Taylor Swift sat in at the Eastern Conference Finals. There are people paying real U.S. dollars for
100%.
the seat.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
Probably.
Like they took the
100,000.
seat out of Cleveland.
Oh, this one's not a joke. This one's
No, this is real.
Oh, I thought
okay.
this was
I thought
also
this was
part
a
of
Facebook
Chiefs.
thing.
Yeah,
No, this is
was
100%
Chiefs
real.
Facebook.
ESPN put the story
I
out.
believe that one.
Wow. Huh.
I'm trying to find what it started with a $100 bid. I guarantee you it's not $100 anymore.
Oh, no.
People are weird, huh?
Yeah, what are you going to do with
Those
that
are the ones
seat?
with lots of money.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Celebrity Row, $1 million.
What could you possibly do with that seat? I guess it'd be kind of
No.
like if you're building
What
it.
do you do with all the stuff all these rich people collect?
Do.
John Hamm's going to break in and steal it and then take it to a pawn shop.
He'll probably use
The
a
show he's on.
Probably use a hammer to.
So it is the fundraiser benefited the Garden of Dreams Foundation, the New York Knicks and MSG's foundation that assists children in need. So it is a charity
It
donation.
didn't happen in New York.
Charity wedding.
It was in Cleveland when Travis and Taylor sat.
Oh, my
courtside.
bad. My bad. I apologize. I was looking at a different one.
They're
So
selling
what-
off different seats?
Yeah, Madison Square Garden is selling off 2 seats in Celebrity Row. 2 seats
Okay.
for Game 3 that went for $1 million.
Well, no, they're not selling. They're physically selling the seats.
I see. My bad. I missed that part of it
You're
because
going
I
to
saw
get a chair. You're gonna
Right.
take it home in your
because I saw the $1 million
car. It's a
New
chair.
York Knicks story for Game 3
Not even comfortable.
because that's a pretty big, like $1 million to sit in 2 seats in front row for Game 3.
They're
Better
gonna
hope they win.
do a mold like of a butt cheek imprint there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably do that. I was talking about when I saw them, like, man, imagine sitting next to her. You sit there and all of a sudden she shows up. And then you realize like 4 seats to the right and to the left are all their like entourage, that it's like security and people they know. And then they're in the middle. And then the 2 seats behind them, also their security. I noticed that because it's like they walk in with people that are looking around. And then you see later on, like those same people that were escorting them in are the seats behind them. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a little more sense that they don't just show up with 2 random seats and sit down next to the person. Let's go to the funniest from the weekend. Sterling, you lead us off on this one.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, real quick, Mansour Delane, number 6 overall pick, agreed to terms on his 4-year, $42 million fully guaranteed rookie deal. He will sign it imminently. That coming from Ian Rapper report 2 minutes ago.
I found this funny. We couldn't find my ball on a singles match. We couldn't find
You
it.
see my baseball?
We're looking for it, and we just can't find it anywhere. It's eventually have to go back and drop. I end up tying my singles match, right? So this was pretty big. End up tying. We end up after the round finding my ball because it's up by kind of the same hole that the cabins that we're staying on are. And one of my friends goes, "Sterling, is this the ball you were looking for?" And I go, "Why, yes, it was." So we don't know, but I got boned here because they told me that this was 50 yards back. It wasn't. I knew I was right, and we never found it. We found it after the round, and at this
That's
point,
your fault.
it's not my. Well, it is my fault. I shouldn't have
There's
gone
like a
left.
time limit. You can't like go back
Yeah.
and like say no.
Well,
Yeah.
we should have though, but that could have been the difference between winning and tying. And we found it. I just thought it was funny that after we can't find it, we literally find it as we're smoking cigars, drinking beers up top at the cabin. So at least I found the ball, right? So at least I didn't lose it.
Did you go back and play it?
I didn't have my left-handed clubs there to definitely kept. I tried. I did flip over a righty club.
Too bad.
And hit it.
It's too bad. Funniest from the weekend.
So
for you?
this is funniest. That was the
That was-
funniest.
Yeah, it was funny. I
Okay.
just figured finding
Okay, gotcha.
your golf ball 6 hours later.
Keep saying that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. All right, funniest.
Inconceivable.
Whimsical.
I wish I should have edited this down and sent it to Michael, but I didn't have time. Did you guys see like the 12-year-old kid from Oklahoma at his talent show for his elementary school? He's into bird watching and bird calls. It's a 5-minute video. It is worth every second of it. He gets up there in front of the class and does perfect bird calls for 5 minutes, and every time he's like, "This is a barn owl." Woo, woo. The whole place just erupts. And he'll have a little stuffed animal of a barn owl. He throws it on the ground, and then he picks another one up out of the basket. And they're endless, and they are perfect. They're unbelievable. CBS News, big CBS, did a story on him last week. It's gone viral, apparently not viral enough for you guys to see.
I saw that. I've seen it.
You
It's
see
good.
It's unbelievable. In the middle of it, he calls out one of his girl classmates.
Yeah?
He's like, what was her name? Like, Trinity or something. What's up, Trinity? By the way, this is the Western Middle Girl. And
Yes.
he had so much confidence at that. So they did a story on him. He's an autistic kid, and he loves bird watching and keeps a journal. He opened up his journal. He's like, I don't have stuffed animals for all these, but here's 4 more calls. It's
Wow.
unbelievable.
That's
it's
cool.
so good.
That's cool. I'm going to watch that. Michael?
Did you guys see that Tom Brady started a coconut water line and what it's called?
Oh, no.
It's called Good Nut.
Okay.
Come on now.
All right.
It's a family-friendly show.
Yep.
It's just coconut water.
Coconut water. Yep. That makes sense. My funniest from the weekend was okay. So the kids have their devices, right? Because if you're traveling, you need to do a break for the parents. Okay, I don't care. Judge me all you want, but who cares? We were talking about where Jules's iPad was, and we're like, Jules, where's it at? Because we need it for this particular thing. And I was like, I thought you put it over here, and it was right there when you went to bed. And she replied, and she said, obviously, if I would have seen it, obviously I would have played it.
Oh, well, okay.
Dad, next question. What does obviously mean?
She didn't know.
And we lost it. I'm like, well, you used it correctly, but just like, obviously I would have used it. Next question. What does obviously mean? Did I use it correctly? And out of all the things that happened, that was the funniest. We cracked up for a long time with that one. It was very good. Best, we start with you, Mick. Best from the weekend.
Josh Rojas's travel plans and games, plural, on Thursday. That's the coolest thing, man.
So awesome.
You've seen it before. I've seen it a few times before where guys playing a minor league game, they go up and they pinch hit, whatever, in the major league games. But for all that stuff to happen in between, he misses his flight. He lands at 9 o'clock thinking the game's about over. No, there's an hour and 7-minute rain delay, so they rush him to the ballpark, and he gets to pinch hit. And it must be a baseball thing, because I feel like they always look for a reason to throw the new guy who just got there in there, almost like
can't even think.
He doesn't have time to think about it, which is a good thing. And it worked out, and it was awesome.
That's awesome. That was a great game. The Rojas game. Michael, best from the weekend? The Rojas game. You just said, you said mine was the same thing. Best from the weekend. Best from the weekend for me was just last week. It was awesome. A lot of fun there. And also yesterday, my niece Brenly turned 2, so that was pretty awesome as well. Sterling?
8 dudes in a van driving to Nebraska.